Ahead of big name tech earnings coming up this week, we're seeing NASDAQ futures back in positive territory once again this morning, trying to lead the market overall back to the upside, coming off relatively positive showing for equities on Friday. If you remember, the S&P and Dow, little change so far this morning, but all were higher to end the week on Friday. If you remember, the Dow even reaching a record high heading into the weekend. Driven by better than expected earnings. The S&P up 1.7% on the week last week. It was its third straight positive showing as far as the weekly performance is concerned. Yeah, it's all going to be about earnings and more earnings this week. We'll get Facebook tonight. This week we get Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. A third of the Dow will report tonight or this week as well. Caterpillar, Coca-Cola, Boeing, McDonald's, among others to come. Tesla shares moving here in the pre-market once again this morning. Record high once again coming for Tesla. PayPal, Snap, Hertz ordering 100,000 Teslas for their fleet. That's kind of cool. We'll talk about this PayPal, Snap thing. Obviously, we were speculating on that last week. And of course, Digital World Acquisition Corporation and the now group of SPACs that are moving along with DWAC, all very, very active here once again this morning. It's Monday, October 25th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. All right, there we go, as promised. Yeah, positive, but only just. The NASDAQ about 0.25%, S&P 0.17, the Dow flat at this point. Yeah, nice move back to the upside at the bottom of that board. Therefore, Bitcoin and Ethereum, once again, about the same so far today, 3.7 in positive territory. Nice bump for crude oil as well to kick off the new week. We had a little bit of selling in energy markets to end last week, if you remember, but all is well. We're back to the upside. Good morning, guys. Monday morning. What a way to end the week. Last week, obviously, with Digital World Acquisition Corporation and all that came along with it. Yes, it is active here in the pre-market, if anyone's wondering. But, I mean, some of the bigger moves this morning coming in other names.
Yeah, I mean, just across the board, those other SPACs, Remark and Fun and BENE. So welcome. It's going to be a crazy one. I guess they didn't like that deal after all. With PayPal and Snap, you know what?
Who did?
Yeah, nobody. It didn't feel like much of anybody did, and the way that the price action was going in some of these other names made a lot of sense that they've pulled away from this one. But hey, Tesla stock is going up, the opposite direction of Patrick Mahomes stock, by the way, and that's. I'll try to leave it at that. Thank you, Patrick Mahomes, for the loss. I appreciate that. But look, it's going to be an interesting way to start this week because you have so many earnings, and then across the board, all of the volume is in these crazy SPAC names. A few other things that are going to be moving as well, which we can pay attention to. I guess no one will pay attention to QSR, although they're up this morning. But as you mentioned, it's those tech earnings that I think are going to really tell us how this market is going to react this week. And I will say right now, I think I like Jack Dorsey. I actually don't think that we're getting hyperinflation, but who knows?
All right. Yeah, so look, welcome to the jungle one more time here again today. We talked about, Hertz and Tesla. Wow. Tesla's now going to be a $1 trillion company by the end of day today, which is going to be amazing. We still got Funware, on watch and everything like that. It should be a very, very exciting day for us here. So the one thing I want to show you is, and maybe we'll do this when we have a little bit more. We used to do this all the time on the show. Maybe you guys can go full screen. The top 10 traders from Friday. Someone asked about it on the weekend or on the last show there. They wanted to see what traders were pulling in here. Okay, so this is from Friday. We used to do this all the time. We kind of stopped. But here we go. Let me see if I can zoom this in just a little bit more. So this is Friday's top 10 traders. So one trader in the company, 214,000. Someone else, 207,000. Of course, these are all the markets they're trading. 200,000. I mean, you just have to look here. NASDAQ. We already know the names. They're trading 170,000, 94,000, 53,000, 53,000, and then we stop doing all of the NASDAQ and all that names, and then we go into some European markets and whatnot. But there it is right there. We have at least four six-figure traders at Day Trade the World on Friday, and followed by a bunch that are not too far behind that. So congratulations, everybody there trading on Friday. But there it is. So, we don't show our nets too often, but when it's a broad-based thing like this, Day Trade the World has over 3,000 traders. So, that's where this comes from. But those are some nice numbers there from Friday, Brendo.
Yeah, huge. Obviously, the opportunities on Friday and hopefully today as well, just monstrous with moves and volume, both just through the roof. Before we go any further, guys, let's get over and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, team. Happy Monday to you all. I wish you a wonderful start of the new week. Enjoy the show and please go long on the like button. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed, guys, get it started. Lots to talk about this morning. Just notice this WeWork up 8.5% here in the pre-market. I can show you this. We talked about this last week. This actually came out Friday, but Fitch upgrading their debt to CCC plus, which is better than I guess what it was expected to be after the SPAC merger was complete for WeWork. We only have, I think, 2 days of data now on our charts, guys, because the first day was missing, but positive looking chart here for WeWork.
It is, because it actually ended the day of, it ended the week, I suppose, on Friday, relatively weak. So you're actually getting a gap up here, and it's on light volume. All the volume is dragged into these other SPACs. By the way, if you haven't noticed in the pre-market, I haven't seen volume like this in some of these names in quite some time, and I think that's stealing away from what could have been a little bit more momentum for something like a WeWork. Who knows? But if you watched what happened on Friday, right at the morning when these other names were going, there was a spike and then an absolute failure. I just think there was enough eyeballs or enough momentum traders interested in WeWork to actually have it follow through. I kind of feel like the same thing might be today. It did stall just on a dime at 15 before essentially selling off for the rest of the session. So that 15 stands out, 1350 stands out because that was afternoon resistance in WeWork. It's still a company which has a lot of negative connotations around it from previously when they tried to go public, and I feel like there's always going to be that lack of hype around it because of that. As a business, it's an interesting business to be sure, although I kind of feel like people think that they're a little bit more in terms of evaluation than what the actual company does. So we'll have to see. I mean, I'd look to fade it if it got to that 15 level to be certain, and I really don't think that, unless you're holding a 1350 bid at the open on some actual volume, it might have some trouble holding up today because there's so many eyeballs on these other stocks. It's just, you see what happens when like 4 or 5 of these get going. It's all the momentum in the algos, everyone gravitates towards them, and that's what we're seeing happen with your funds and your DWACs and your BENE and Remark, of course.
Yeah, exactly. We do have, guys, I'm excited to have DV Trading guests come on soon to talk all about crypto. So we'll be coming on very, very soon. We'll talk about crypto. Brandon will have that. But WeWork right now, yeah, good name. We talked about that on Friday a little bit when it was breaking through some levels. You're going to go to the upside here. This is just a 20-minute chart. Like I said, it hasn't been trading for that long. But look at a 1420 break here on WeWork for sure, and then up to 15. Let's just check out quickly here the imbalance locator. One Cliff came out with huge last week. We saw that report. Skills there off the bottom maybe with a nice little bid. So that's one to talk about. BEKE, not BENE, is on here. Pinches for a sell. We talked about that. And then, wow, $49. Wow. And then that's about it. So we have some Coke on there, but nothing major right now. We'll wait to see. Remember, the NASDAQ comes out at 9:28. So we still have 40 minutes plus on that one before that comes out. So we'll wait to see what happens on that. But right now, New York looking kind of blah where WeWork is located. So we'll wait to see. Oh, there's right there. Sorry, there is WeWork on there, 65,000. So, yep, a nice little bid there. I like it through 1420. We may take that even in the pre-market here, 1420 or so long on WeWork.
Neil was talking about this volume on some of these SPACs and little stocks. Guys, I have that Remark Holdings Incorporated now at 57 million shares traded in the pre-market. It's 839, so it's crazy. We'll talk about Tesla in depth here coming up, obviously, but here's the headline if you missed it this morning. Yeah, Hertz. Remember Hertz? When this thing went down to the ping sheets, it gave you all kinds of opportunities leading up to that as well. 100,000 plug-in EVs ordered from Hertz from Tesla, guys. That's a big improvement for their fleet.
Yeah. So the thing I was thinking about this is that there's nowhere else for Hertz to go. I mean, if you want to grab 100,000 electric vehicles right now, I think they're all going to be Model 3s, so they're going to be, hopefully, the car that a lot of people can afford and get into. I don't think it'll be overly priced, but a lot of people love their Tesla, right? And I think this is a great move by Hertz. Former CEO Childs from Ford is in there now with Hertz, making big time moves. And so I love this move for Tesla. Obviously, they have nothing to do but pick up the phone call and accept the order. So they have capacity to do that. And I think today you're already at all-time highs. Now you're getting another 4%. Look, back when this thing was 600, called 1,000, called 900, called all-time highs. I thought it would take till Christmas, but now we're here, still in October, and we're bumping up high. I don't even know. I'm gonna just buy the opens. I wrote it down on the sticky note, and I just said 955 long. Like we'll just wait to see what the market does. The market's bumping up here today, so yeah, Tesla's a for sure buy, and Hertz is gonna also made a commitment to putting up more charging stations and things like that. So I think Tesla wins. For now, GM doesn't have a mid-range electrical car. Neither does Ford. All these, they're so far behind right now. So Tesla's the only one there to take this order, and they reap the benefits. And congratulations, 100,000 more Teslas going to be on the road near you.
Yeah, you might want to watch. You can watch Hertz on the pink sheets, OTC, I should say, to see if it makes any moves. But at the end of the day, unless you're waiting for XPeng's flying car, like you said, Tesla is going to be the winner here. I was initially when I sat down, I was sort of thinking like a 950 break, and then it happened and rejected. So you can forget about that round number. I do like the notion of a 35 to 40-ish area possible dip. And I'll take a look at that. And I think if you're the only one possible trade I think you have to the short side, like we said last week, was like the first time Tesla got to 1,000 before the split, it was a very good trade. So I think like the second time it gets there, it's going to be worth a look as well. I can't guarantee that Hertz is going to do volume on the OTC, but I think it's going to be worth it if you can, just to have it on the radar, just in case there is some movement there. But the real story is going to be, how long Tesla now takes to get to that 1,000 mark. It's the strongest name out there. XPeng, by the way, did talk about a launch of their in 2024. They're looking at a flying car, which is kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, there's only one leader, and they're across the world, and that's going to be Tesla. For that day trade, I don't like the notion of taking this one in the pre-market. I think the spread so far has been okay. It does feel like a little bit of a trap to me. The volume is through the roof. Most of it's going to be a dark pool print, but the volume is actually very, very high in Tesla. So a few things that I'm not used to seeing in Tesla pre-market trading, having me not want to have this one before the open, to be sure.
Guys, Moderna just popping up here as well. It looks like they've come out with some data on their preliminary test for young children. So this is the 5 to 11 year old range that they've been talking about over the past couple of weeks. So Moderna just popping up here through some levels from last week. Again, I can slide this over and show you. Here we go. So COVID-19 generates immune response in young children. So this was kind of the next step, if you remember, after the booster shots. They were talking about the younger children, 5 to 11 year old range. Pfizer, J&J also working on similar. So it looks like Moderna, the first one out here with this data.
It's interesting that Moderna's turned into it's not a boring stock, but it's definitely gotten a little bit less exciting. Since it's caught a bounce off 300. Now, there's been some opportunities here. I just feel at this particular point as a day trade, you really, really want, if to the positive side, you really want it breaking out of that 345 to 350 before I think it gets that momentum to get going to the upside. Otherwise, you're still, every time it pops, running into resistance in that 40 range, right? So you talked about last week, it was 40 and then it was 45, and those levels still hold true. I think it pops into there. You're looking to short it until it breaks 350. I don't know that changes. And I look at last week's floor, that 316, which was a great level before that. Like that was the level that we shorted the most, was that 316 area. And now that's going to be your support. So until it gets out of this range, I don't think Moderna is going to be terribly sexy. These headlines are no longer really moving it, breaking outside of these ranges. And until that happens, I think, as much as you can say trading in a $15 to $20 range, is not sexy. I mean, it's a $300 stock, so ideally that's not really a gigantic amount of movement. There are opportunities there, as evidenced last week, and if this is your thing, and trading Moderna has been, the most profitable thing for you, and you can sort of, manage those types of swings, then yeah, you play that fade off the 40 to 45 area. For now, 316's holding, although I've been bearish until I'm not on this stock. So I don't know if I like the idea of going long, but I think that 16 is about the only place as a day trader that I would take that shot.
Okay, so I just looked at Pfizer here, and I mean, we talked about this last week, and all we did was scale back out and say that this was a good buy at these levels. I mean, $41, $42. We came right back into some of these areas of support here and bounced. So there you go. So Pfizer's now up nicely today. I mean, not just today. It's not up that much today actually, but it's up nicely over the last 4 days. You can see it made a nice bottom at 41 and change right there, and now right back to the upside. I think Pfizer goes back here $44, $45 pretty soon. That's going to get approved this week. So yeah, I'm excited to see where these stocks go from here. From 5 to 11-year-olds, that's great news for Moderna. It's great news last week for Pfizer as well, and BioNTech. So, I think that this all gets approved. It gets approved this week, and then it starts getting into those adolescents, I guess, arms there. So we'll see what happens when that all goes down. But there's also approved booster shots last week as well, right? So J&J and Pfizer both got those approved last week as well. So I think there's a lot of upside to some of these names, especially a name like Pfizer that does have more in the pipeline, obviously, than a lot of these other names. I still prefer J&J than all of these combined.
All right, let's go to crypto markets, guys. Ben Ekert is COO of DV Chain and is going to join us for a little discussion here this morning on where we are in the crypto markets, what we need to know as far as some of these ETFs are concerned that came to market last week. BITO, obviously the big one, 3% here this morning for BITO in the pre-market. Great to have you, Ben. Thanks for doing this. Let's talk about what this means, I guess, first overall, as far as the effect that, another option on the equity side is going to mean for cryptos overall.
Yeah, this one had a pretty big impact, and you probably see it as being the main driver for Bitcoin's big rally over the last few weeks. And then obviously it hit the markets with a bit of flurry, right? And becoming, I believe, the quickest ETF to over $1 billion AUM in history. So.
It's an impressive, I guess, start to its life. There are a couple others that have, since joined the party here as far as ETFs that are following Bitcoin futures specifically. So all-time highs last week. What do we need to know as far as what to expect this week for both Bitcoin and then some of the other majors?
Well, I mean, with Bitcoin, I think, like anything, keep following price, but we saw a little bit of weakness rolling into the end of the week and through the weekend, but it's picked back up by the end of the weekend. We're holding in the mid 60,000. So, I'd like to keep following that price action. We're seeing, another fund launched on Friday, the BTF fund, like you mentioned, and then we are expecting another fund from Van Eck this week as well. So, given that these are all futures-based funds, it has some really interesting impacts in the market and the structure of the futures market. While like Bitcoin is a pretty liquid product, the futures, they're liquid, but they're relatively illiquid compared to the size of these funds already, where you're seeing BITO in the first couple of days running into position concentration limits already.
And an interesting look overall as far as the attention that these have received in initial trade. We saw some of the retail brokers at the end of last week coming out, talking about the sheer number of buy orders that were coming through on BITO specifically. I want to talk along those lines here, Ben, when it comes to institutional involvement and the increase of institutional involvement overall in crypto markets. I mean, obviously, this is going to increase and continue to build. What are your thoughts when it comes to the overall effect for Bitcoin, though, for an increase overall from the institutional side?
Products like this just simply make it easier for institutions to get in, right? There's a lot of institutions in their mandate who can't even consider touching actual spot crypto yet. And frankly, the ETFs in the US can't consider touching spot crypto yet. This is all futures based. It gives institutions interesting trades to look at and short-term traders interesting trades to look at because this has had a huge impact on the futures curve, right? We've seen increased basis trades. We've seen both steepening and then backing off of that, like, a lot more contango effects in the curve again. But I think this wave that we're in right now, we're actually seeing a lot more institutional investment than previous, and we're seeing lower levels of leverage, but a lot of involvement on the CME as opposed to other crypto derivatives exchanges around the world, which, to me signals more institutional investment. And then maybe something that slid under the radar for anybody not really into the crypto space last week was FTX, which is one of the major international exchanges, did a really big raise last week. And there was a couple names in their Series B, that catch my attention. One being Ontario Teachers' pension plan. So you're actually seeing big, more traditional real money making significant investments in the space. And I think, that's one of the first people we've seen do that. So that kind of gives a hint towards the institutional involvement picking up again.
Hey Ben, how's it going? Hope all is well, and thank you for participating with us here on our little crypto minute. I think we can call it crypto minute, maybe crypto 5 minutes. So what about Shiba Inu? I mean, we've been talking about this. We put a video out on Shiba Inu over the weekend, and I have the chart up right now. I mean, we touched 4.5 there. I guess it was on Sunday or Saturday morning. I guess right away Sunday it looks like they're 4.5, and I mean, look at some of these numbers. It's 44 million% year to date. It's 428% in the last 30 days. It is 40% in the last 7 days. Shiba Inu. Are we buying this? Are we selling this? What are we supposed to do if we hold Shiba?
Trade fast is the only thing. Like, okay, there's lots of different ways to do things, but man, the ones like SHIB are really hard to wrap the head around some days. There is price action. If you're an active trader, you know what you're doing, like you're a professional in the markets, go for it, trade away. There's tons of price action that you can make money off of. As far as a bigger picture trading, I just always have a hard time with it. It's memes carry a lot of weight in certain areas of crypto, and this is the latest meme that people have gotten behind. And yeah, it can be incredibly profitable if you can ride it right. It can also be a game of musical chairs. If you were holding it into that rally yesterday, and when they tweeted out at Musk, asked if he owned any, and he said no, and it dropped 10% almost instantly, that can be a little rough. So it speaks to some of the fun that's out there as you get a little further down the line in the crypto space, though. There's all sorts of interesting projects and just tons and tons of volatility and price action, which, as a trader, I love.
So Ben, is there one? Yeah, thanks for the talk on Shiba. That was just like you said. I think you're 100% right. It's like the new meme crypto. I mean, not new. It's been around for a bit now, with no real value other than what people are willing to pay. So what is the next? And this will be a real quick one, and then we'll let you go. And thank you for this. Is there something relatively soon? We just saw the BITO ETF come through. Is there something else on the horizon now in the next week or two that you see could rally even the bigger names or the whole space? Let's talk about the whole space, maybe individually or as a group over the next week or two. Is there another major event coming that we should be looking out for?
I think there's always a couple of things to watch for. One, now that we've seen futures-based ETFs, no one knows the timing, but at some point in time, you'd expect there to be spot-backed ETFs in the US, right? We've seen them in Canada. They were the first products to launch in Canada, and they are more efficient than the futures-based ones, right? They're going to track better, the Purpose funds, the Galaxy CI funds in Canada, GBTC, right? In the US, the closed-ended fund there, they've got their application in to turn into an ETF. So, it frequently trades at quite a discount. So keeping an eye on the headlines or the price action there, because if that gets the approval or another spot ETF in the US gets the approval, there could be some really good trading opportunities there. Outside of the listed markets, there's just so much going on in crypto all the time. I look at the rotation between like Bitcoin and ETH got really hot. Like Bitcoin was really hot with ETFs. You then see people rotating into Ethereum to follow that. But then like DeFi chains, like alternatives to these faster chains have been really popular for the last few months. And, I don't think that's going away anytime soon. So that's where I put my effort outside of the bigger games right now.
Ben Ekrit from DV Trading, thank you so much. We'd love to have you back on, and let's talk some more crypto. It's always a fun space. Have a great day and enjoy some of these moves, my friend. Thank you so much for joining the team.
Thanks for having me.
Ben.
Few analyst moves for you this morning on the upgrade side. Airbnb, Ford back on this side of the board once again. Speaking of EVs, NVIDIA, JD.com. Beyond Meat had a pretty volatile week last week to the downside this morning. PaySafe is here, Carnival, and Novacure, guys.
NVIDIA and JD, why not on the upside? Look, just a couple of things happening already because, look, these aren't going to stop moving here. DWAC broke the high of the day. It was a 109 high, also took out 110. Mark, which had been selling off the entire time, was consolidating around the 650 area. I have this one short, and it's going to have to be a tightish stop. You got to make sure these all go at once. You saw what happened at the open on Friday, and if you didn't, they all broke out at the same time. BENE taking out a consolidation level as well. I mean, I tried getting some shares in the break of that DWAC, and the lesson I learned is you still have to cross a little further with your breakout orders. You know, just make sure if you thought normally you're getting 10, 15 cents of slippage, you might get even more than that. But every single uptick on Mark for now is being sold. It goes like 4 or 5 cents and someone does come in and sell it. I don't want it getting past that 680 level, but already tons of price action, a plethora of volume across all these names, and they're back and breaking out with the exception of, I guess Mark right now is the only one at the lows. I mean, even Fun's close to that 12 even break.
Yeah, watch out for Fun. We're going to go long Fun, obviously breaking through 12 here. That's going to be a call that we've made. I just basically put on, look at all of the pre-market highs. That's all. I mean, sitting here trying to make calls on some things like this is what it is. And remember, people, and I actually commented there, someone said like it's very risky to go short. But remember what I was saying is that we don't disclose our share sizes or anything like that. So, just play all these things with a, I don't know, fine-tooth comb and trade your own, because the fact that Neil might be short something and then get out and reverse long, like these things happen real fast, so you just got to be very, very careful about exactly what's happening. I'm just going to try to load there. I mean, there goes Mark right now. This is why I'm not going short on anything, so we'll just wait for everything to basically take out some of these highs, and then we'll go hard. I'm going to be going in 1, 2, 3 times, things like that, not averaging in, not like I wouldn't be able to take a short hit. Like here it comes right back to the upside. So I'm going to wait maybe on Mark 730, something like that. But I'm not in the mood right now to go short any of these things, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to wait and see. Tesla is on the list today. I do have the sticky note up, and it should be fun. There we go right now. So there goes Foon right now. So we are into Foon right now, long 1208, I guess, on the cross up. So here we go. Let's see how far we can go up on this one. We do have some outs to consider here. I'd rather not consider any outs until the market actually opens.
There is one.
1050, I guess, on the way down would be something to consider for that. So there it is. There's the long on PHUN Fun, and we'll just see where it goes from here, guys.
All right,
keep in mind, guys, just on the crazy halt down and Fun. Yesterday, Friday, 1450 was a big level when it actually recovered. So anytime it gets to there, I don't care what happens at the open. I think it's interesting. Everyone's going to look at that same line on the chart and want to be taking profit in the event things get crazy at 9:30.
Micron, guys, just popped up here for MU, 2% in positive territory once again. I saw a headline, there was an earthquake in Taiwan, so they came out and said that earthquake has actually negatively affected production for Micron, but there's also a Bernstein initiation on the buy side for Micron. So a little pop there for MU for anyone who is watching the chip maker space today. Let's jump into what else is moving around in the pre-market. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, Miss V will help you out in the chat with the link for the watch list. Absolutely free to you every single day before we come on in at 8:30, guys. So let's jump into what to be aware of this morning. Let's talk about it. Digital World Acquisition Corporation, the big one back on Thursday and Friday of last week. Crazy moves, crazy volume. A little bit less exciting this morning. We are starting to head back to the upside, though, here for DWAC, guys.
I mean, relatively speaking, I think that's the way to look at it. Like, relatively speaking, it's a little bit less exciting. But I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to compare to opening up at 10 and going $50 in the first day, and then on Friday we go up to 175? Right, like you could have had any one of these breaks. You could have got shares on that actual halt, and then 175 holds the low. I mean, breaking back out here. At the end of the day, fundamentally, you can talk about fundamentals all you want, or what this company could or could not be, or the track record of these SPACs. which can be a bit dubious, but right now the price action is absolutely insane. This is an afternoon high that we're just turning around off right now, so it got to 115, that afternoon high, and is looking like it's trying to pull back a little bit. Look, I just want to see how the bid holds up, right? Like, does it continue to dip into halt ranges and then get sort of reject those halts, right? So, I mean, after the open, because there's no halts in the pre-market, but volatility halts. But after the open, can it pull back, go like 8-9%, catch those little quick bids? And I think that's going to be a sign of strength. If you are trying to look for support, like if things get crazy down at $80, certainly that was the big dip, and then it didn't halt after it hit that higher low at 80 even, and then that was the bottom at the close. So, I suppose if you get all the way back down there, that's probably a good place, at least looking at the charts. For DWAC. And then 115 is okay, but I mean, I would be looking at this price here, this 120, 121 area. If that gets taken out, I think that's when it has a better chance to go a little bit more parabolic here than what is another nice 20%, subtle 20% gain. If there's such a word as a subtle 20% gain, we're staring at it with DWAC right now.
Yeah, and we took out a little bit. We took a little bit of foon there for that 12 or 13 pennies. Now you're bouncing below $12 again. So we took out a third already as it was stopping at these pre-market highs. So that's, we took the 12 break and then noticed that. So we took out a little bit there on PHUN. But like I said, we're still going to try to hold that. DWAC. I mean, what a great. I mean, if you haven't seen. I'll put it up. I don't know where it is now. It was pinned on my thing. Thank you to Rob for the great DWAC. There it is right here. Oh yeah, by the way. I don't know. I was using Wario here. I was starting to deal with some kids there on Friday night, so that was really fun.
Wario.
If you haven't seen this video yet, let's, we won't show it here on the show, but I'll put this up. It was a really fun day trading DWAC on Friday, so we will look at that. I'll look at Bros later as well, but there we go. Please watch that video if you want to see some fun trading there. That was a lot of fun. Thanks, Rob, for that. But okay, DWAC. So I think that again. I don't want to play in this range here, blah, blah, blah. That early break would have been great. We did talk about taking pre-market breaks. Unfortunately, I was on there with Ben and from DV Trading, which is a great guest. Wasn't able to take that break, but I would have taken it. I don't know, where we would have got out. We would have got out of something for a couple bucks. But just watch out here. It does take out that pre-market level right there at 109. So that was a screaming buy. And then it goes to 114, 115. So that's $4 or $5. So, okay, so we'll put that in our pocket and just, remember that kind of a move on a break high, right? So $5 break high there with some decent volume. Of course, it's not going to halt in the pre-market like Neil said. So I'm going to go through this and look at this 120 area. We had a top here at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock on Friday where we stopped at 120 after making all these halt bottoms at 70, ripping back to 120 before, finishing the day back at 80. So you have these levels right here, 115, 120. I mean, I guess this level really is 115. So you could look at that. The 120 is up here where we sort of made the high after all of these halts. So I'm looking to see if we could take out 120. I think that's a punch long for sure. That's probably going to create a halt situation maybe when you break through that 120 up to 130, 140. So you could see an opportunity there again to get out. We learned our lesson, man. When we were long here 90, got out at 175. That was the big banger there. But then look, if you didn't get out of everything like I didn't, then you had to suffer through this all the way back down. 4 or 5 halts all the way back down before making a bottom at 70. So you basically lost $100 in a half hour there, okay? So be very, very careful with this stock. And there it goes again. Watch out for this 115. It's going to take that out right now. You got to go long at 115. There's no other trade.
All right, let's bring in Arun here, get a check of the overall market and understand a little bit about what to look for this week. Arun, we are back to positive territory here, but I mean, if you kind of zoom out and look at Friday, we're still kind of, within that range that we saw back on Friday.
Yeah, but you know what though, it's not a surprise that we're hesitating this much to take that all-time high out. On the futures, it was 45, 49.50. We took, relatively speaking, we took that out. It was just a run on stops, and that was what I was talking about on Friday morning. When that 50 goes, usually it's just stop placement right above it, and they couldn't maintain that, right? It was just a quick take, 1.5 above 50, and then you see this move down all the way below 45.20 and so. And now here we are making another attempt trying to stabilize in front. Now the I don't want to say majority of stops, but some stops have been taken out as of Friday. Got shooken. Anyone who went long above 50, any stops that got taken out above 50, obviously you have that sell move gets them out. Now we're starting to stabilize. If we can get back above 50 and actually trade well, then I think you have the opportunity for a long play. Now we finally get that setup that's more solid than Friday. We are back up here. There is a little bit of resistance in front of 50. That's not surprising. But as soon as we can get past that, as soon as we can stabilize a little bit, I think the long is in play. I'm looking at around 35 or so on the bottom end. If we can't maintain this kind of momentum, because we are finding some strength here above 40. So if we can't maintain that and we dip below 35, I think then you have another possibility of taking a shot at the short. But apart from that, I would stay on the long side. 35 is the stop. That's I guess the inflection point. And if we can get above 50, then the longs are on the table back again. And 35 would be the stop. Of course, if 35 goes, you take the short, you put the stop above. I'm using 55 as a stop in that scenario. Things to keep in mind, though. Today or this week is the big tech week, right? Big earnings from majority of tech-heavy index names. Today is Facebook, I believe. And then we also have Microsoft, Alphabet tomorrow. And then I think Thursday is Amazon and Apple, big one. But Apple's at 4:30, so you're not going to see much movement from Apple until the markets are closed. And the indexes are, for the most part, are very light in terms of movement anyways. But we do have some tech earnings. They are heavy in the weights. So when those earnings comes out or they come out, you're going to have the indexes move because of the weight that they carry in, especially the NASDAQ index, because they're so heavily weighted, especially at the top end with Microsoft tomorrow and Amazon as well. So keep in mind, those are headline risks that you have to worry about going into the end of the month.
Going to be a busy week, obviously, for those reasons. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back tomorrow morning. Best of luck today. Let's continue along here, guys. We'll talk about PayPal and Snap. If you want to have a look at Snap as well, PayPal officially coming out saying, nope, they're not interested in Pinterest, not Snap. What am I talking about? I mean, close, right? But PayPal to the upside, Pinterest to the downside as a result.
Yeah, the only disappointing thing is you couldn't have predicted that it was going to happen this quickly, right? Like, you know, obviously we said it could be a ridiculous buy opportunity as PayPal was continuing to go downside on that news and speculation. And it didn't make any sense to a lot of people. I don't know anybody that was without sitting there gritting their teeth trying to defend that deal making any sense. And that's the simple reality. But the stock was under pressure, and you couldn't have predicted this was going to happen over the weekend. Although we said I thought it would be up 10%. If they got rid of the deal, so it's up 5.5%. So I guess that's not going to be correct. But we are getting back into support levels from the previous weeks, like back above this 250 area, this 251, which I think is, you know, it should just come back and then be your regular support. So it's almost like pretend this never happened at the end of the day, and then move on to just sort of playing these names how you were before. And then with regards to earnings, I think you can, much like Snapchat, you can probably short Pinterest on pops, but it's probably, like when I checked, it had given up just about as much as I thought it was going to. I was sitting, I am sitting on the offer trying to short a pop to 51 on pins. I'm not entirely certain that I'm going to get an opportunity to do that as we're trading at like 49.5 now. Load. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, we're trading at 49.5 now. I'm sort of sitting on the offer when I thought there would be a chance to play off of this 51 level on the pop. We'll see what happens. I mean, if it breaks 51.5, I'd probably just get out thinking that there's a bit of a dead cat bounce or one of those types of rallies in Pinterest. But you know, at this particular point, there might not be too much of a trade there unless it gets strength off the open.
Look, we bought shares. It's just about believing in your trade, right? We bought shares in PayPal. And I even said this on Friday. It was like, it made no sense. I didn't understand why they were buying them. But, you know, on the other hand, I did have faith in the fact that, you know, management would figure this out and would make the best decision for shareholders. So it looks like they did both of those things. They got rid of Pinterest and in the best decisions for the shareholders. So we bought in the afternoon here just as much as we bought at 60. We bought again at 4. I think it was, I just looked, 43 and change. So we didn't get the best price. We must have bought right here during this dip in. It was 43.60 or something that we bought. So maybe it was this break. Anyway, so it goes down as low as 40. So we missed the very, very bottom here. But hopefully I never see that price again. and we'll just move on from that. So we tweeted that out. We did buy some PayPal. We talked about that on the 3 p.m. show, and then now today you're getting a beautiful swing to the upside right there. Obviously, if we could have predicted that would have happened, then anybody, I think, like Neil was mentioning too. I know as a Pinterest shareholder there, we were all. I'm not, but you were mentioning that, Neil, that if it got to 69, that would be a sell because the offer was 70, which none of this. I
would have sold it whatever day, wherever it got to the high, the deal. If the deal was announced, I think you would have sold it at that point.
Anybody would have.
Otherwise, you're nuts.
Yeah. Well, you would have got PayPal shares right,
in a year
at the end of the day. So that just the only thing that this sucks for, guys, today, of course, is Pinterest shareholders because you did get saved a little bit there when it went that day to 66, but that's hard. That's hard to get out. You have to get out real fast there. So this is a good indication that this deal wasn't going to happen. 3 straight down days here in Pinterest. So right now, someone messaging me, I guess, on the chat here and saying, where is the bottom for Pinterest? Honestly, after looking, at their business, because I was wondering it myself, like why would PayPal do this deal? And I don't know, man. I don't know how far Pinterest goes. Maybe to 30, like what is this, 36, 30, 34, 35, 36. You can look at Etsy. I know they're a little different. Obviously, Etsy's selling things on their website. Etsy is an NY? No, it's an NQ. Okay. Yeah, there it is. So Etsy's still holding up quite well, up to 243 and change. If the daily charts load, you can see what this is doing. Obviously, a lot different here than Pinterest. So it's getting close to crush its all-time high right now, Etsy. So, I like a lot of these names. I think that you got to stay long PayPal. You got to get longer. I mean, I'm already quite long Square, but I want to get longer Square here as well at 250. So I think there's a lot of great opportunities coming through. I love PayPal. I love what they're doing with everything. So let's get longer Square. Let's get longer PayPal. And let's just hope that at some point PaySafe can actually make some money.
All right, here is potentially why I was thinking about Snap, guys. I was reading this, Kathy Wood, the latest update. Big moves for both of these two on Friday. Twitter and Snap, the latest purchases for Miss Wood. Facebook, there was a few negative comments on a couple of different news services aftermarket on Friday. So Facebook is down. We're going to talk about that, but let's get back to Tesla in all-time high territory this morning. Yeah, Hertz buying 100,000, the biggest order ever for a fleet of Teslas.
Yeah, just monstrous.
I mean, whatever. I just keep saying this, but you guys already know this. Like, if you're a Tesla bull, you're a Tesla bull. I've been one forever, and I just kept saying that there's so many tailwinds. I mean, there's so many. They're building new factories. Now they get this deal. They're way ahead of everybody. There's nowhere else Hertz could go. And guess what's going to happen now? Avis. I don't know. I don't even know any other ones. Avis, Dollar Rental. I know I'm making these. I can't. My mind's drawing a blank here. But all of these other car companies are going to step up and make similar moves. I'm telling you. So I mean, this is just the beginning for Tesla. Can they take another 100,000 car order? I don't know, but they're going to get them, and they're come flying through here. Look at this. Tesla saying, "Hold my beer" to the whole market. We were just 673 in August, man. Like when we were making these calls, it was down here where I bought some more. But since then, it's ridiculous. Like, where are we going to get out? My answer is never. I'm never getting out of Tesla. I was even talking with my kids on the weekend, 9 years old, 7 and 9 years old. All they want to do is buy Teslas. And I mean, here it comes straight up to the upside. It's still going. I told them I'll pass the shares on to them. So there you go. You guys get my Tesla shares. Congratulations. I'll give them over to you when they're at $3,000. I have no idea where this thing's going except for to the moon. So congratulations, everybody long Tesla. Take all the long breaks you can, and let's just reap the benefits of this, amazing story. I mean, $1 trillion company, Tesla.
Yeah, a trillion. And interestingly enough, I guess it's stalling at 950 here. Shouldn't have been too much of a surprise. If you just look at this silly 15-minute chart, 850 was where it pulled back to when it initially tested that 880 level. So every $50, it seems like it's finding support or resistance. So I think that 1,000 is going to be, well within reach this week. I don't know if we get there today. I think it's your only shot for when you want to put in a structured short. And even then, every day trader and their mom is going to be looking at that one. Watch out. PHUN funds starting to pull back in here. So scalp some out. I got back into it. I'm looking to reload if I can, while also watching that DWAC. As I said, I think at the beginning of the show, if we get a chance on Tesla to maybe buy a dip around 930 off of the open, I think that can be not too bad off of like a 9.25 level, sort of midway between that 900 break and the 950, which you got right now. But things getting very spicy in SPAC world as Foon coming off. I'm watching Mark because I kind of wanted to play that one looking weaker. It's not doing a thing. If it rolls over like this, I'm going to need to get back into the Mark short because Foon's starting to come down and DWAC rejecting 115 again.
Let's go to Benicera. Speaking of SPACs, this is the latest one to join the party. I mean, this did make some moves on Friday, but big volume here in the pre-market for BENE, another Patrick Orlando fronted SPAC, guys.
To me, they're all the same. I'm going to be going long everything. BENE, I know, Neil, you got that short before and it didn't work. Now you're back in it, so that's good. We're long. We're both long Foon here, so it's fun. And you know what? I mean, we could talk about BENE, whatever. We could talk about them all if we want to. But there are going to be some key levels here. I just don't know if any of these levels are actually going to matter, to be honest with you. You know, there are levels here, 1675 on BENE. But again, just with all these halts and all the potentials of this to go right back to where we were. I mean, even to go back to here isn't bad. This was a SPAC, $10, right? Just chilling out. Goes up to 17, 18. We talked about this on Friday, and then it came in and didn't do much in the aftermarket. And people asked me, hey, Sean, should we be long fund? Should we be long BENE? And I was like, hey, if you could trade aftermarket and things like that in pre-market, then these things could be up again. And here we go. So up another 52%. I still look at taking out these tops, man. 1922, 1950, things like that, right? Coming through. So, I mean, you got to be very, very careful with these names. I think you defend this 1680 area and you see what happens. But again, if you're looking short, you can go short. It's just don't make the mistake of getting in and out of these things. Like, you know, if you like a trade, hold on to it because there's going to be so much opportunity here. Wait for key levels and see what happens. So that's all that I can say. Just don't get caught in any shorts, and that's what I mean. Or any shorts, any halts, because again, these key levels break, like the 1685, 1675, even if you call it down here $16 on BENE breaks, you know, you could fall right back to 11. And it doesn't take long to halt these things, so be very, very careful being stuck in any of these. I wouldn't trade it with huge shares, but on Funware, as we're getting very, very close here, again, you know, not backing away from the trades, believing in the trades. We averaged into this. Let's see if we can go back to the upside. So now we have Fun long at 1170. We initially took 12. We took a couple pennies there. I'm only in one trade today, and it's so far it's 1 for 1. Holding this against me, we'll see. It's 27 cents against, but so far so good on this name. Let's just hold these cards close to our chest today and see where we go. I still like that DWAC 115 break.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm looking at BENE for is going to be that 20 level at the top, right? Like, you can only focus on so many of these at once, and I'm choosing Fun, Mark, and DWAC, and BENE would have to get to that 20 level. Speaking of those, I did mention as they were coming off that it was marked because of its relative weakness, I want to say, gapping up, that I wanted to be back into the short side of. So when I saw Fun come down, I bought Fun off of that 11 area, and I sold Mark when it started this breakdown. So I'll sit in the short here on this one, and this is nothing to do with a hedge. This is not a hedge. At all. This is just playing the momentum. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, okay, now if they both run, you know, whatever, like I'll win on one, lose on the other. That's not really the intention here. I just think relatively Mark was a little bit weaker, at least looking at it in the pre-market action. So we'll see what happens if it tests this 6 even area, but Fun bounced off 11, now back to 1140. And that BENE, $20. I mean, big level pre-market, $20 on BENE. Not sure it gets there at this point because it's seeming rather unlikely, but it could always test it later.
So there's this Green Pro Capital as well. A few people talking about GRNQ. This was a headline on GRNQ, Green Pro incubated company. You know, there's a new deal for a satellite launch and telecommunication system. So Green Pro Capital is an AI software firm, but again, very, very small. So heads up on GRNQ as well, not on the watch list, but another one going absolutely crazy this morning, along with Funware, so PHUN back on watch. That does have ties, if you missed it, to Digital World Acquisition Corporation and, more importantly, Trump Media. Facebook, guys, lower here ahead of earnings aftermarket tonight for FB. I mean, is there a trade here? There was a lot of negative press on this at the end of last week. Aftermarket on Friday, a whole bunch of media outlets reporting more negativity coming from the whistleblower. So earnings tonight is the big point.
I mean, usually you want to be relatively quiet going into earnings. I think for Facebook, the good news is most of that most of that gap down. A lot of that price action that we saw in the last couple of sessions put in a couple of lows which have not to be retested. And we mentioned where it has been bouncing off that 200 period moving average. I think that's your only area of real, I guess, legitimate concern is, do we actually break and open a day below that price? So, that's what I'll be watching for in the earnings report. I mean, unfortunately, I kind of feel like, the numbers aren't going to matter as much as they should for Facebook. I think it'll be more of a bellwether report today. I don't really see a trade unless you get like some kind of a flush into that 200 period, which by the way right now sits at about 319.5 or so. So it goes down into that price. Maybe you catch a bit of a bid because it just happens to sit there. But that was breached a couple of times now, although it has rebounded there. That's the only real trade I see in Facebook today. Otherwise, I think we get that bellwether effect. By the way, fun, if it comes back to, I'm sort of shooting into the 1175 to 12 area to try to take some out after buying the dip. Just in case it doesn't retake that high, I want to make sure we're taking some profit out on that name. But Facebook, I like the 200 period for a day trade, but basically only that. It needs to hold that low.
So when you bought on Friday, that's a longer term hold? Or
that's long term.
Yeah, me too. So
I'm underweight on them, so it's it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty equal weight on Facebook, but underweight compared to all my other names. I think Facebook has a monster beat today, absolutely monstrous. I think it's like my 7th or 8th position now, holding wise, in my account. We did get out of this name. We bought some at 325, I believe. We talked about that. Then we got out at 330 on the whistleblower and all that crazy stuff. We missed the opportunity back up to 340. But I really think they're gonna have a monster quarter and surprise everybody and tick back up here, 350, 360, something like that. But without being on the board or knowing exactly what the hell is going to happen, they could still trade lower. So there's no way I'm buying shares today or tomorrow. I'm going to give it 2 or 3 days after the report. If I'm right, I'm already in this name and we can be huge on it. But if I'm wrong, then I want to buy some more down in here, 290. Kind of like what we did with PayPal. We bought some at 260, it ripped up to 275. Then that Pinterest story came, gave us an opportunity to buy lower. So let's see if we can exactly buy lower on Facebook. Hopefully in the 300. I mean, I'm already long, so I actually don't hope it goes down, but if it does, I've got the pencil ready to go there and check off some boxes on that one. So I like Facebook. I think today it's going to be a no-fly zone for me today. I don't even think I'll trade it at all. There's some reports that came out again for Facebook, not great, and we'll just have to wait to see. I'm going to let the earnings speak for themselves. EBITDA is under 10 right now. You're not going to find too much more to that one. And here goes Snapchat. Let's see. This is going to be hopefully a money. And we'll wait. I don't know where it's going to go, but right now we just took 10 cents on Snapchat right there as we're long 56.13. And you only need one. Well, you need 2 watch lists, right? You need ours, first of all, and it'd be nice then if you could grab this one as well, because my sticky note right here does have Snapchat. We like it, man. This is a bounce back day for Snapchat. Long 56. So there it is, man. We have the long now. We'll see where it goes. But right now, Snapchat in and out right here. In at 56, out at 56.20. Now we'll hold, or 56.25. We'll hold a little bit of this name. Into Funwear right now. Long, bang, bang. Nicely 10 cents in the money on this one. And then another one, man. This is just, how good are we starting again today? Snapchat, hopefully it can go, but we'll see right now. Snapchat trying to go upside here. We're already long that name. So let's just keep dropping it for the sticky note, guys.
All right, this backed holdings, which is BKKT, this is MasterCard related. So MasterCard is partnering with Backed for its integration of crypto services with banks and merchants. So I just brought up MA. Neil, you were looking at that BKKT.
Yeah, I mean, it's like another, look, man, 50%. The 50% club is going to be big today. And BKKT, by the way, consolidating and looking like it's trying to take out a 14-level break. Like I said, we'll ring the register on fun because I talked about sort of like looking to buy that dip. It goes right into that 75 to 80 area, a bit of a reversal. So I just took a quarter off there. And look, you don't have to trade 4 or 5 symbols at once. I understand there's a lot moving today, so you see something like a BKKT setting up for a break at 14 even, it just pops onto your radar. You're not forced to trade absolutely everything. BENE's making a run. There goes DWAC through 115. I mean, didn't even get any shares. I mean, look, we're long in fun at least, but I didn't even get the 15 break on. Did you get the 15 break?
Of course, bro.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's just a fluke. Who knows? I crossed up 50 cents, right? I mean, that was an easy one. 15.50. There it is. Out again. Spin it. We took another dollar on DWAC. Who knows if it's going to go higher or not? But we'll take that smooth dollar right there on DWAC. I mean, this is just another day that we're having right here. We're long Snapchat. That's 10 cents in the money now plus. We're long Fun, Brendan. That's 45 cents now, 50 cents in the money, and we're long DWAC. This is just another one. Rob, you may have to get ready for another video, bud. We're starting to hit the home runs already. Bang. There it goes, man. No short, no problem. Let's see where we go. But hey, these could all fall right back down, so let's not celebrate too early. That is why we take that money out right now. All we're doing is stacking, man. Friday was a huge day, and today we're stacking again. So let's go, Brendan.
All right, another one. Very, very busy morning, guys. A lot of movers. Com Sovereign Holdings is another one. Up here 2 days in a row. This got kind of roped into this. They do have their own news today, but this kind of got roped into the rally that we saw back on Friday here. So 220 is pretty significant here over the past couple of months as far as both support and resistance. It's traded on either side. 250 above that, and then you got to go all the way to 280 or 3 where it was this morning early on. But struggling right now at 220 for COMS.
Wow, how do they
Again.
both work?
There we go. We're still ripping to the upside right
I'll
now.
take it.
DWAC, yeah, DWAC, $2 in the money now, guys. Foonware, big time mover. Look at Fun. We're right up to 12.50 one more time. So this is a good spot to get out, guys. The market is will be open in 4 minutes, Neil. So I think we should get out.
Look, I'm taking profit everywhere. I'm going to take Foon long. I mean, I have some of my fun left, but Mark goes the other way. Like I said, relatively weak in MARK. If you're going to short one, it had to be this one. The other's running to the upside. I'm checking in on this BENE because
Let's go.
BENE's not really going right now. It still has a chance to possibly break. I thought we'd be testing 20 by now on this stock, but it's not going with the rest. So you have this shot at 18.50, which could go at the open. Mark short, BENE, nothing yet. Foon certainly resisting this 12 level. My only concern with Fun is you can see, I keep saying Foon, it is what it is. Fun is now you have 3 times this high here, which, I mean, if that doesn't spell like a little bit of a trap at the open here, I don't know what doesn't. Like at 120, certainly a big level on DWAC as well. So watch out for some of these in the next 3 minutes or so. These are hard tops on Fun and some sellers getting in there. And I'll be holding that Mark short because if this one is the weak one and these all come in, I mean, that stock could be back to like $4 like rather quickly.
Yeah, I should get into that Mark trade as well if that's going to be the case. But right now, we're going to tweet this out one more time here as we continue on that. I mean, look at those outs right there, just so you guys have an idea. We trade as we preach, man. Out right there, 12.20. Again, that same high. So out. So that's going to be fun right now, in and out of that one. DWAC goes all the way to 20 there, I think, 120. That was that high that we talked about, right? So that was right away another $5 winner for us, not taken. So let's wait to see. We only took that $1 right away, and now we'll wait to see what it does here at this 120 off open, man. This is going to be a very, very spicy open. It seems like it. So yeah, we'll wait to see what happens right now on all of these names, guys. So very, very exciting. We're going to see about making this money, but for right now, we're holding on. So there's 3 minutes to go until the market opens, and yeah, it's going to be a good one. Here are the imbalances. So there's Mark. So that's why Mark comes out as a sell million. So good move on that one. Look at DWAC, man. $3 right now in the money on DWAC, and continuing to go to the upside. There's Fun right there at 400,000 shares. There's your GRNQ with a small sell as well. We'll keep it on Fun. I mean, we're long here. We just got out some. We still have a decent position, but DWAC now $4 and still going up. So CCL, there's DWAC right there as a buy. Only small though, 180,000. So let's go. Yes, sir, man. Watch your screens. Dang. Let's go. It's another one today, man. We're starting it off again. This is why I love this job. There's so many more reasons, but here it is. Here's 120 right now on DWAC. A $5 win now on this name. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this ride. And yeah, what a fun ride this should be, especially if you are trading some of these names, including Fun. That's not going to get too old, is it?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not going to get old. It's going to be a lot of fun trading in today. And BKKT trying to make this move to 14 for a 4th time. So quadruple top on BKKT, which is a late addition to the list there. That sell imbalance is wrecking absolute havoc on Remark here as it comes to the downside. I just saw like a 666 print to the downside. It looks like it's trying to hold this level here at 660. If this goes, we're retesting that 6 bottom rather quickly. With less than a minute to go, Yeah, no, not even in Tesla nor looking at it, but this name, which should be on a normal day, the entire story would be Tesla. It's making a move to this high of the day right now. The market is up, by the way. I think we might have mentioned that a couple times, but it's making a move through its pre-market high of the day, trying to make a bit of a breakout here at the open with under a minute to go. We don't want to ignore some of the broader market, but hey, you've seen what's happening with these recent SPAC names and these low caps, and we've got to make sure that we're trading what is active, and these are the ones that are active.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even, whatever. Let's just have some fun today. I mean, it should be a good one. We're obviously on Snapchat. Snapchat's doing whatever. There it goes, man. You're going to break this 120 and probably haul right off the open. We talked about, let's go, DWAC. This is the thing, man. We're long right now. 115. That was the easy break. We talked about that one right there. We tried to get it. I got it. Neil missed. You got to cross up like $1, guys, if not more. So watch out here. $5 now. Yeah, 50 cents was what I did. $5 now in the money on this name. So here we go, guys. Get ready to drop that. Yeah, now we're late. With only
it's
now
a little slow.
4, 3,
ring it
2,
now.
and 1. There we go. We are now open. Let's just see where we go, guys. Good luck today. And if you're looking to trade these names, you're in the right space. So let's go.
100%, guys. So immediately watching, Tesla's going to try to make that run at 953, but immediately watching that PHUN, which pulls right back.
Look at DWAC,
yeah,
too.
It's going to halt.
Yeah, DWAC's going to halt to the downside probably, guys. Yeah, here goes DWAC right now halting to the downside. We're going to get out of that one. We don't need any love for that as it is halting now to the downside. It looks like anyways, that is going to be DWAC. I'm going to take a little bit of a short here into that halt and just see where we go. There it is. So it does halt there. We are short now on that
my
halt.
Goodness, Mark.
Let's see where we go. Mark crashing.
Mark's at 580. Mark's at 580. I got Foon.
Yep, Foon.
I got
Fun. Want to say that.
I got out. I got short on Fun into the halt. So we'll see what happens there. But Remark just absolutely cratering at this point. And look, I thought we were going to break that 6. But I didn't think it was going to happen quite that quickly. As these other names are halted, you can always check back. The warrant sometimes will be open for trade. I'm going to hang on to Mark for dear life. And then this BENE, by the way, this also rolled over a little bit, but not nearly as far. So 1850 was that level of resistance. If I get a chance to short this anywhere off of that level, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here. Tesla, as I mentioned, was testing that high of the day, although little distracted, so it might have broken that top, and I might not have even seen it. So we'll check back in on that in a second. I'm trying to get some BENE if I can get a reasonable price, close enough to 18, but this is also falling like a rock.
Yeah, right now lots of things falling. I mean, even Snapchat falling right down here. So we take a small win, but look, nothing else right now coming through for us on Snapchat. So we do have to wait for that one. We are also short. We took a short. This could be a bad trade, but we'll wait to see what happens here. We are short into DWAC right now. It looks like we're short right at this price. So we got in and out there. Very little damage done because, again, went up to 120. We could have got out there. So there was some damage done on that, but we reversed into the short. Now let's see where we go from here. No idea where this thing opens up at all. Fun, the same type of thing, man. Out, out a little bit, holding a little bit right into this level one more time. So we'll see where this opens. It looks like that's sort of at this level right now, 1050. I was talking about Snapchat. We had an opportunity to get back into that, and we didn't. Let's look at this 55 bottom. I think it's worth taking a little bit of a tester here on Snapchat long off this 55 bottom as it just tanked pretty hard there for Snap. Here comes all the way back though.
Yeah, and I mean, here goes Tesla. It's actually trying to break this. It's 953 was a pre-market high, but 955 about to get taken out. So big moves in Tesla. It never really gave you that 935 on a pullback, 946 as far as it went. Maybe we are going to get that number, that 1,000 number today, given how strong it certainly looks. BENE, look, I wanted to be short this name, like I mentioned. I just didn't want to chase it. Chasing it would have been absolutely fine. And Mark, bye-bye. Why isn't this thing halted? It's about to halt right now. I can tell you that. Do I want to add to this position or just take it off? I'm actually going to consider adding to it if I can even get it. This is ridiculous. I mean, Mark was giving you multiple shorts up there at like 750. So I just got some more shares short, which is, I was shorting at 750 and now I'm adding to it at 468. That says just about everything about this stock. Brendan.
Here comes another SPAC, guys. B. Riley, Principal 150 Merger Corporation. Right, BRPM, 24% right now, but monster volume coming in on the buy side. This thing's up already in the pre-market, guys.
All right. Yeah, so we're just going to watch out for this one breaking right now. This could break, obviously, coming through, and that is going to be Snap Chat breaking through 55. So we tried this one, guys. Doesn't look like it's going to want to work for us on the long side. We tested it one more time. We thought that we'd get a nice little breaker 1.9 on this, but it looks like it does take it out 56 early, but then it falls right back down. So watch out for this 55 level. DWAC, I guess it's getting ready to open, Neil. I don't know where, but we're going to wait to see. Looks like it's 108 right now.
I think we're actually, somehow we're still like a minute and a half away from opening up on these names. I'm going to go to Pinterest for a quick second here because, look, we have to wait for these to open up. I'm now in 2 halted trades, both into the short side here. But Pins catching a bid. Okay, well, I mean, I'll try to short this one. I was looking at getting short around 50.75. I had this order in all pre-market. If it pops up another 70 cents, I will get into position there. BENE continues to be a dying quail. And that BKKT, which, man, there's so many of these movers. BKK, that's 2 Ks, Neil.
Yep.
So last time I checked, and of course it's on the New York. That one tried to break that 14. It was a quadruple top. It has rejected it, which I guess shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I was looking for the breakout there, but this is why you prefer a breakout as opposed to just buying it anywhere. Because you want to see it take out that level. It rejects off this level, and then suddenly this becomes resistance. So everything I was looking at in the pre-market that was a small cap, gapper, runner, they're all down currently right now, and a couple of them in halt trades, and the rest of them basically falling like absolute rocks. And then it's your Tesla, which is showing all kinds of strength. Tesla at 961. So in the midst of all of this, the simple just buy the breakout on Tesla was the one. Forget about waiting for the breakout on BKKT. Should have just bought the break on Tesla, obviously. Way to go, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, it was so obvious. I mean, I even have it on here. That's how obvious it was. But like you said, Neil, we do miss some other things. And so the sticky note looks like it'll be good, but we need to find, oh man, 963. I know you're just talking about that. That still surprises me every time.
Open.
There we go. So we did get out of some of that right on open on that close. So now we're holding a little bit here into the short. So we'll see what happens with DWAC right now. We did take that opening bid out, which was nothing. So we actually didn't do anything
still going.
On that. So we'll see here now where it
$10.
goes. 110 break. Let's go, guys. Foon, we're out of that one as well. Go ahead, Neil.
$10 on Foon there, and then now 980s. We're able to get here to the downside. This is like now $9.50, and it's halting again.
Ooh yeah.
And it's halting again. Wow. So I mean, it looks like Fun's gonna halt at 954. Funware. Mark is not even open back up yet. I don't know, like I don't want to add to it at this
Look
point.
at
We're already
DWAC,
short.
guys.
These are just
$10
all dying here. They're all dying.
$10 winner on DWAC right there, but we'll see what happens. Now it's down to 99. We'll see what happens here. We are holding a little bit of this one as it's continuing to go to the downside. It might have just bounced off that Hyundai spot there. So like I said, we're going to give this one a little bit of room. It did touch 99 there. So back out 96 maybe as a decent level. We're going to get out if it spikes back above 108. This is just a fun time to trade here. We're trying to hold things a little bit longer for us here. So let's go DWAC. So far, so good on this move to the downside. Look at 96 bid. We'll see if we can stick one there. It's like a stink bid on the downside and see where this one goes. But yeah, that's yours, Prad. I give him Prad credit for that every single time. So what's up, Prad? Yeah, that's your thing. Who did you get it from? Greg. Greg. Oh, it's a Greg thing.
Okay, look, shout
out to Stink Big Greg.
Prad, we thought that was yours, man. I love the absolute honesty in saying that's not his catchphrase. We're still not open on Mark, by the way. So Fun and DWAC open back up. Mark has yet to reopen. I did add to the short, so I mean we're shorting at 750 now. We're shorting at 468. I'm going to cover a bunch on the whenever it opens up, and then try to see where it goes from there, holding for some profits. As far as any of these for a dead cat for a bounce trade, I'll stop saying dead cat bounce if I can come up with something even better. As far as any of these with bounces, worth noting, Fun. Pre-market low is still in play at 860, and then if you go back into Friday's action, it did have some support around like 650 or so a couple of levels to work with. As DWAC tries to bounce off 105 here, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be able to sustain that. It bounced off 100 first.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens when these reopen. But Mark, I'm guessing, okay, it should be about a minute or so that Mark opens up. If that catches a bid, maybe they all do at once. I tend to think DWAC is the leader of the pack, though, so I'm watching that one very closely.
The leader of the DWAC.
Mark just opened at 4, where'd it go?
Did it? Okay, so we are down. Go ahead. I don't even have it up yet. Foon is not up, open. I may just cover this for $5 here on DWAC, man. We're short 108 off that last halt. We did cover right away for basically flat. I mean, we got short 109. I don't know even what was that halt price. Hold on a second. It was you know what? I don't even know where it was. 108.80, and it opened back up. So it opened at the same price. It opened up at the same price, guys, that it halted at. Believe it or not, I've never even seen that before. Here we go. Bang! There it is. That's a $12 winner right there on DWAC as we wait. So there it is, man. That could be, that's a decent trade for me right there. That's actually more, well, we had a big win, obviously, on Friday, but there it is, DWAC short. What's up, Ms. V? I like that blue. Here we go.
Thank you.
We just got out DWAC right there.
Oh, what am I doing?
97.27, Neil. Good trade there. I know you're also holding the short, I believe, in Mark, as that's going to get opened up. And then so far, so good with Snapchat as that's battling back. Thank you, Ms. V. Look, a couple outs there at 60, bringing Snapchat back to life for me, but still needs to go up.
Yeah, I'm going to work this to the south side on even this mark as it reopens. Obviously, we're not going to get 750 again, but I got a short around 5. I'm looking at 550 as a bit of a mark on Mark. I mean, I guess pun intended on that one. And funds should be open up in about 2 minutes or so. So we'll have to watch both these very closely. BENE, by the way, bounced off of, it looks like it's trying to bounce off 15. I shouldn't say bounce because it hasn't done it yet. But if Mark tries to get above this 550 and fails, now that'll be the last rollover. Of course, look, I always take some out. When we reshort there, we're going to take a bunch out there at the reopen price. No matter what, that's the best price you could have had on Mark. And now I'm just looking to work back into position. I thought we'd get a rollover at 550 there. Didn't quite get to the price I wanted, so I haven't added to it yet, but it's back at 5 even. These are all falling like absolute rocks.
It's a rock in the building.
It's the rock in the building. Tesla, by the way, 970 and right back into 950. So maybe we do get that 935 dip buy price as Mark. I mean, forget about it. Here it goes again.
Okay, guys.
These are just all shorts, man. They're just all shorts right now.
Yep. And we'll go siren alert here because Snapchat takes out the bottom and we get the hell out of this name. It's going to be a loser for us. Thank God it came back up into these levels here. We were able to get some out that we talked about that anyways. So that one's starting to crash right now. To the downside goes Snapchat. I guess the rebound in El Snapperoonie not as strong as I thought.
Go.
So Snapchat down to 54 right now. Big time. Big trading today, guys.
Yeah, we'll do this one because the rollover 550 on Remark, we're able to get a bunch of shares there above 5. I'm immediately, like just a minute later, we're able to cover a bunch at 440. So it's just, they're giving them away, man. This was short. This is my 5th time shorting the stock today. But you had to have a stop, the first one, by the way, which I mentioned to you guys. And then now, it was a $2 stock on Friday.
Whoops.
Right? So if you're starting to think about where this could go, I mean, all the way back to $2, I don't know if that's going to be possible. I do think, certainly, back through 4 even would be incredible. Still no reopen on Fun, which there it goes. So basically, exactly when I expected it to reopen was like a couple of seconds later. So not much there. It closed and 955 reopened at the same price. I still have some of my short here, 920s now. So this has pre-market lows at 860. Does that have a chance to bounce off that level? I mean, I guess at this particular point, I'm thinking about a jailbreak long. Right? Like at some point, I think there's going to be some kind of bounce in these stocks, and you can't be holding the short if you anticipate that you want to get a piece of that long trade. So 1080 is a great short price. If it gets back above, I'm going to call it like 975. I'll just get out of this thing and then hunt for the next trade, which could actually be a long, believe it or not, at some point.
Okay, we're just going to try it right here. We're going to try the long right now on Fun. So we just hit a nice short there off that open, got out. Now we're going to go long on this name and see where we go from here. But that's what we're going to do, and we're going to see if it works out. Who knows? Long Fun right now, 965, and there it is right there, nicely in the money here, up to 990, 995. Here's another money maker there on Foon. So up to 10 and change right now. Let's get that out. Bang again, man. This is just what kind? Again, the day continues here, man. I don't know. This is fun, nice long. We are now in the money, another 50 cents on this trade. So we just took out half. I don't think it's going to last. That's why we're just scalping back and forth, in and out on this one. Just like we took out DWAC on that day low. That's a $12 winner right there on DWAC, guys. So yeah, the only thing we've really screwed today up is on Snapchat, which unfortunately, that's still can't find a bottom down here at 54 and change. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at Facebook. There's a bunch of stuff happening, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, obviously there's a lot happening. By the way, when I covered on that Fun and it went to the upside, Mark tried to go, got to 485, and then again, right? So it's continuing to fall here. It looks, like I said, it's looked the weakest out of all of these names. That BKKT, just to keep track, because I know traders are in a lot of these, that one is absolutely dying as well. So it's back down to about $11. I don't know where the bottom is going to be on some of these. I thought there was a chance that this would be it on fun. Instead, it load. Thank you. Instead, it looks like we want to retest that pre-market low, which, by the way, we have not broken that pre-market low yet on fun, despite a couple of halts to the downside. If it does try to put this bottom in, it would be a great sign if it were to hold this 950 area. You had a halt down at about 950. Technically it's like 953 or 954. It just retested it here and then bounced off a 950. Another bounce off 950. You ignore that wick. You're kind of setting yourself back up here for a 10 break, but you want to see it hold this 950 level. Otherwise, I think we do retest that low. Mark is now at $4. So, I mean, this is insane. It's about to halt down 386 on March. So again,
we should halt DWAC.
So in case it doesn't halt, I'm just taking some shares out here because I'm like, if it doesn't halt, this is insane. So I just took a third out of this Mark short, 750. We shorted again at 550. Like these are just going to the downside, right? So it's a short kind of day. I'm gonna start covering. I got out of my fund short, so I mean, I thought this was pretty much done. I would look for a bid and a bit of a buy. I'm not sure it's coming yet. So we're going to retest those lows on fun, it does seem. That pre-market low is going to come into play here. If it can manage to bounce off this and resist a halt would be, it would be around these prices here at the pre-market low. So call like 860, 865. If it's got any chance of a bounce, it's got to be like right here, you'd think.
Yeah, I'm thinking that same thing here. These stocks are down pretty far. Tesla goes all the way back to 950 right there, and then now moving back to the upside through 960 again. So Tesla, watch out for this market as we've falling back in quite a bit right now. Oh, down to 320. Yeah, see? Facebook ads not doing anything. Let's check out NEO today as well. Look, I'm just trying to go through a couple different names. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm not even on.
So, fun bounced right off of this 875. Pre-market lows at 865. I just grabbed, look, I'm going to scalp some out because I don't think you can hold this forever, but I was able to grab 97s right back into this halt price at 955. And remember, I treat halt prices like walls, so I'm going to definitely cover 2/3 out here and hang on to the rest. That's your halt price, 950. If it breaks up, it's a hold. If it looks like it's halting up, I want long on the halt up. Brendo, what's up, bud?
Another one, guys. This BENE faring a little bit better than the rest. Just had a huge volume spike there as it got back above 15. So yeah, starting to bounce for a few of these.
Yeah, I got to find some levels on some of these stocks because like they're just kind of bouncing around. Like BENE and Foon, it's just like back and forth. Like you can find some levels, pretty obvious, I guess, when you look for them. Right here, $9 but like Neil said, man, on any sort of a halt situation, we definitely want to be watching these names. Your Mark, I haven't made a trade in that, still halted down to the downside. So that was obviously a good short there as that continues to make the money for that side. And then my biggest trade, and really the only thing that's really been keeping me alive here, well, not alive, I was long the other names, was this short off that halt trade. So we went long early, took the buck, which was nothing, or $1.50, whatever it was, and then we lost. That was a 115 break. Then we lost $5 on the short side, and then made 12 back there. So yeah, so far so good here on DWAC, but it looks like it's starting to make moves back to the upside. They're all trading together at the end of the day. Not all of them, but you can see when
they're open.
Yeah, when fun opens up and goes back, you got to have both these names up if you're looking at them. What's up, Brendo?
Another one that was very active on Friday, if you remember, guys, is Created, CRTD, coming back to the downside in a hurry as well. They did offer an NFT of a Trump photograph, guys. So this is that NFT related name, CRTD.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I remember you. I remember you, Create ID. DWAC, by the way, that's right. We call it DWAC. That's just what I'm going to do all day. DWAC trying to get and hold back above that 100 level. So I'm kind of watching this one because I think that halt price down at 108, maybe like 109 or so, and then into 110. Like this area here could be the jailbreak. And if this takes out this level and we have a chance to halt on the upside on fun, then I'm definitely looking for that trade to the long side there. It's just interesting to me that pre-market lows have randomly held across the board on BENE, DWAC, and now fun. The only one that broke the low was actually Mark. So each one of those is finding support at pre-market lows where this whole party started. If those get broken at some point today, well, more importantly, if DWAX gets broken, that's about $90. If that one gets broken, I think these are all absolutely toast. I mean, Fun got really, really close, whereas DWAC actually held up like a few dollars in front of that level. So right now, my eyes are absolutely peeled to this one, see if it gets back above VWAP and retest 109. I wouldn't be looking at a 105 break here. A, already long Fun. B, you have that resistance level theoretically at that hull price of 109 that I'm going to be concerned with. And I will check back in on Tesla, which I thought I'd trade today, but other things are happening. Other things are happening. Brendo.
Just reading this Facebook note here, looks like the whistleblower guy's talking to UK Parliament currently. So anyone watching Facebook, just a heads up, trying to get back to the upside though for FB.
FB?
Facebook?
Yeah, okay.
That thing? Yeah,
okay,
right.
yeah, 322. Okay, yeah. So I think a 320 bottom is good on this. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I am a supporter of this one. What's up, Monkey Shiner? Thank you so much again for the super chat. It doesn't matter, man. Long, short, it doesn't matter. Keep up the great show. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, like, long or short, we trade the price action, right? So thank you, Monkey Shiner, for identifying that as well. I am looking right now at Fun, getting long here around 920-ish. So if that can come back in, we'll do that. Other than that, we're waiting for that. Yes, well done on Fun for sure. PayPal back to 250. Could be a spot there. So is Tesla, man. Tesla grinding back to the downside for sure. So I don't know. I mean, the market's trying to hold up down here on the NASDAQ, and Tesla just kind of up that 4.5%. Might be too much today on that news. I still think Tesla goes higher. But again, a big time order. It's going to take them a while to fill that from Hertz. But now we'll have to wait to see where this name goes. AMD, is AMD down today? Of course, I'm buying all
just a mark open back up here. And of course, because Fun made a bounce here and you're getting a bounce on DWAC, it's going to bounce as well. So looks like it was the right decision. A lot of times I've been adding on the halt down. This time I actually decided to take some off. Good call. And now it's at 430, 450 to area here. And I want to be net short this one. If I sit in a short, to me, the safe one at this point obviously is Mark. Like I said, the only one breaking its pre-market lows, the only one that was trending to the downside pretty much the entire pre-market. And sometimes you don't get too cute about it. You just look at the chart. Which one had the trend? Every one of these names had a trend to the upside, with the notable exception of Mark. And then BENE, which I think is somewhere in the middle, it was essentially barcoding here, and you can see that's also trying to catch a bit of a bid. For now, it seems like Fun has run into a wall at 10 even, which does set you up for a potential 10 break. I would much prefer this 10 break if DWAC was at least breaking 05s, let alone not testing $100, which is what it's doing right now. So there's some concern here, that Fun, if we break 100 on DWAC, I don't know if Fun's going to hold up this 950 level. At this point, I want to hold this trade until the pre-market low goes, because if you got the bottom, and this is a bit of a capitulation right now that's shaking a lot of people out, then there's obviously going to be room to the upside. But there's only so much fighting you can do in this market. And just to come back to Tesla here, so it's dipped now at the open to 945, and then, sorry, at 930 to 945, and then right after the open here, this is the third time retesting this 945 area. That breaks. I mean, the market has turned red in the ES, the NASDAQ trying to follow suit here. Tesla could give a little bit back if it breaks that 945. I'd be hunting at 35s in front of those quarters for the first look. Maybe we don't get 1,000 today, but that doesn't mean you don't see it this week. Brendo.
Just had another volume alert, guys, on Pinterest. Did break that high, so that initial high got taken out there on a volume spike. Still down significantly, but watch 51 there on pins.
Okay, so we're seeking some revenge on the long here a little bit as we take this Fun again. We were waiting for 925. That didn't come, so we took 940s there. Well, you can see my position anyways, only one on right now. 40 cents in the money, so we'll wait to see where it goes. Looks like it's stopping here at 975, almost the exact same areas again. So let's put an order out here, 990 or something on this name, and just see if we get picked up on PHUN here, as it just made that same move again, right to the upside, right to those levels. So like I said, I think there's a lot of, obviously, there's a lot of barcoding and whatnot happening on some of these names. So just be very careful here and play your levels. I think the halting might be done for now anyways.
Awesome.
Obviously, if you see some key levels breaking, you've been with us long enough to know that 10% up or down would hopefully cause a halt, or supposed to cause a halt on these names anyways. So yeah, and I should have just got out of that one right there back to the upside. Tesla, I guess, still going?
No, that wow isn't for Tesla, although you'd think it would be on a day like today. It's for Facebook. Facebook, 320 bottom, ripping through 325 right now. So good luck, you guys, because I mean, obviously, I've only traded those two names, and it's going to be Mark and Fun. But hey, there's other things moving, bouncing off that 320, bouncing off that 200 period. Miss V, you got a name for us that isn't one of these?
Hey Neil, Progenity is up around 10%. Do you guys see any opportunities in prog today?
For a split second there, you said Progenity. It's like the name of the company.
I was
Who
like,
says
huh?
That's too professional, Miss V? I know we know prog, but
the?
it's going to be a tricky thing on a day like today when these other names are starting to capitulate to expect prog to break out of this high. And immediately I look, I shorted this thing when it got up to this 350 before, after having a long into that same price, guys. And I'll tell you, it was an absolute wall at 350. So as it gets pretty close to that level here, 347, it's already put the rejection in, and my attention was elsewhere. But the second I noticed that it actually had already done this, it's not a coincidence that you stalled at 350. That does set you up, absolutely, that if you hold this 320 level all throughout, I guess, the morning here, maybe even hold that 3 even, there's always a chance at a secondary break at 350, but it just feels like that might be a little bit later in the session when the rest of these names have settled down. And maybe if the money comes out of these, there's a bit of a push to be had in something like a prog. And as I think about this, with the moves down in all of these, is now Mark again testing that 430 area, I wonder if the old memes like AMC and GameStop haven't caught a bit of a bid in the midst of this pullback. I'm not curious.
Yeah, we should definitely check those out. I can't believe, I mean, I was looking great. I just called Facebook up to you guys and was like, oh my God. But yeah, we'll wait. I'm not going to buy more of that. We've recently bought some more Nucor at 9, or some, not more Nucor. We just talked about buying Nucor at 95. That's going to be a good winner for us. So that's a punch rate there. And then Nike as well, a recent buy at 145. That's a good one. And then PayPal today catching a bid as well. We bought some at 243 on Friday to average in to our position. We've been long this name sub 100 for, I mean, this was the call of 2020, so really happy. We've gotten some out, so there's no doubt about that. But PayPal bouncing off this 250 area, so that's, don't sleep on that area either there, just like 950 on Tesla. That could be a good one there. Okay, so here goes Mr. Foonware one more time up to the upside. Of course, it's fun. We averaged in, we talked about we were sitting at 925. That order actually accidentally got canceled, so I had to buy some 33s there. Like I was like, it's coming down. I wasn't getting filled. But there we go. So we pay about 10 cents more than we should because we canceled that order by accident. Now we'll wait upside about 70s or so. So here's a nice win, 20 cents on reloaded shares. So yeah, we did get reloaded on this name. Hopefully it'll be paying off. We have to get out if it breaks through 9, man. I mean, if this breaks through 9, we're going to get out of this one. So, no point in cheering yet. But right now, here comes right back to the downside. Wow. Just an update on DWAC. Obviously, I don't think Neil or I are in this right now. Yeah. It's barcoding. 105 break right there makes sense to me. It's VWAP. It's been bouncing around there. So if this does get some momentum back to the upside, we will look at this break here on Digital World Acquisition Corp breaking through 105. So that'll be a look for me right there. And then, like I just said, the only other name we have on right now is Fun. And I do want to take a look at Snap, as that's kind of bouncing off that bottom of 54.
Yeah, and back over looking at prog as it makes another test to that 350. So I said it might take till later on in the session. No, it looks like it wants to try to go here now. Now, you guys know a double top here, a top from last week at 350. For sure, I'm going to like the notion of shorting in front of it with a hard stop at 350. And then I think this one does set up for a bit of a reversal. You do have decent volume on this push. You can't really see it there, but if I do this for you guys, yeah, you can see like you have decent volume going into this push, but it's not gigantic. I think that's why it may be worth a quick little shot. If I can get mid 40s or so, like 43, 44, 45, something along those lines. So it's tight risk to 350. I'll go ahead and take those. But I still like that reverse, Brendo.
Marqeta MQ, we've talked about this recently over the past couple of weeks, guys. Big move there. Through 27, Citron tweeting about MQ, guys.
And there goes Foodware, as it looks like we will get out of this one very, very soon, as it just keeps on going to the downside. I guess DWAC obviously, there it goes. So it's a little bit of an out there. Not a little bit of an out. We are completely out now, as we will. Where's my... I've changed these things so much, I don't even know where my flush down the toilet is. Well, I don't know where it is, but we'll just go cash cow for a lot of people if you are short these names, but not for me, as we take the long and it just gets hit there. Not a big position. I just wish there was some sort of a breakout spot here.
This is my last, I don't know.
There has to be some.
This feels like suicide. No, and then
Why?
no. It feels crazy when momentum is this weak, or so I guess strong to the downside. Like basically trying to get in, holding this same bottom again. Like if it gets a bounce, which it's trying to do here, and can't get past 950. As a matter of fact, it almost feels ridiculous not to take some out if I can in front of 950, just given how weak this has been. I never got into Prague, by the way. It got to like 40s and then reversed, but I will try it if I can get like 45. If Fund can't hold this low, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm certainly going to be covering. At the pre-market lows, if that breaks, I'm out. BENE, if you're in this one, it's not the pre-market low, but this 1450 level feels exactly the same as what I'm looking at the bottom here on Prague. So, you just watch out very carefully. This mark, for all the move to the downside here, this mark is actually leveled off. So it was relatively weak all morning long. I've basically only been shorting this one, but as I looked over it, to see, when we just retested the lows on Prague, mark didn't even want to break back below that 4 level. So, I might have to start thinking about, okay, if we get a bounce here, I'm not holding mark through 5 even, because it's holding up a higher low right now. So that whole relative weakness thing, that could be kaput if we catch a bottom here. If we double bottom on Fund, I guess not really double bottom on DWAC because I look at it, but certainly a double bottom on BENE. If we double bottom off those and start breaking out, mark has probably just as much room to go as any of them, and there hasn't been much of a bid. So I'd hate to get caught short at the bottom on MARK. It would kind of like spoil things, but it's been a crazy one this morning. We're having some fun trading. Just tread lightly. If these lows break, maybe the halts will be back in favor, I suppose. This fun bottom, if it doesn't hold this, it could get pretty ugly.
Yeah, and that's sort of right now what we're dealing with right now. Sorry, I was looking at Snapchat. Wow, what a big bang there from the bottom on Snapchat. Someone said there was some call breaks, call buying happening there, so that's interesting to see if that is the case. But there it continues to go to the upside right now. And then there goes Palantir as well. Yes, sir. The money bag's coming through on PLTR right now, guys. This break is sort of what we've been waiting for on Palantir, another 25 break. We did buy back into this name, of course. We did talk about that one when it was making those moves down through 24, 23. So a nice day up there for Palantir. And then there goes Fund. We took one last shot here, not having that much fun right now, but it is starting to go down to the downside. A break of 850. Obviously, we've got to be gone through that one, as we did try one more long here, but it doesn't look like that's going to work out. So here we come, right to the bottom, breaking through 850, and we'll be gone. There it is.
Yeah.
So actually, we got filled there at the end. So there it is, a nice little move. We'll hold on to one small piece just in case. But hey, man, chasing these bottoms on Fund has not been fun today as it continues to make moves to the downside.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like I said, I took one last ditch, just like I think you did as well, Sean. But now once it broke that low, I said it might get ugly. I took a short here. I got 59s, 859 when that 865 area broke. Now you're looking at 8 even already. So,
yeah, wow.
I mean, I don't know. Like if it breaks 8, yeah. I mean, let me look at a 15 here.
No, there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to look at Friday's action, then you start thinking about this 660. It's halting to the downside again. So I might try to get some shares short here, although it's so far down. The only reason I think it's okay if I can actually get any, I'm not going to get any halting down.
I got some.
Nice. So, I mean, 804, the only reason I think it was worth that is you do have this bottom from Friday at about 660, right? So decent chance that there's still some room to run here. I mean, that's going to give you a 20% right there till the next support level. So Fund continuing to head down. This mark, which obviously is going to fall down when this happens. Mark headed right back towards its lows, and DWAC sort of the same thing. But DWAC yet to break the pre-market low, right? So it's like an 89 level here. If this goes, 90 even, 89, you're splitting hairs at that point. If that goes, things can get even uglier. His fund has already gone down. If DWAC breaks, remember the big time support on this stock was actually in that 65 to 70 area on Friday. So if those get tested, that's a ways away from here. So Fund and DWAC have some room to the downside. I think there's going to be buyers at those prices. But it has to get there to prove that right or wrong, and we haven't gotten there yet. BENE starting to break down. I think I might have missed a chance to get that one as it broke that triple bottom as well. Man, I kind of wish I'd add to the Fund because it looks like I missed that this BENE. Tricky to get in some of these. Liquidity is starting to dry up fast on all of these names.
Yep, big time. So we are short Fund here, but we do understand that there is a nervous aspect to this trade here, as it hasn't been great to us here today. But we are short this name and just looking to see where we can go now. Again, short on the halt. Again, we tried the long here, weren't able to get out of anything. Broke it at 9, then went short right there at 8. So I don't know. I mean, looking back here, we just did some work back to the 20-minute, maybe 7 and change. This position, look, this position could be in trouble. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So we're going to get out of half on the reopen and see where we go. That didn't work out good for us on DWAC. Remember when we were short? Wow, DWAC still making a move to the bottom here, digital world. But you know, we did get out of that short. That halt short for half, it was half. There on the reopen, which reopened at the exact same price. So we should have held that, and then 4 minutes later, we took a $12 winner right there on DWAC. So we'll wait to see now, but everything seems to be falling down. Neil, you mentioned AMC and stuff like that.
Money goes back into the old memes, man. There's AMC through the high of the day. And I'm sure GameStop's doing the same thing.
Yeah, $37 right there, making that move. Look at that, right off 35, bar-coded beautifully at $35. And you know, you can't ask for more than that. I mean, GME, GameStop, and AMC right down to the downside here, and are really absorbing some of these levels. So hey, you know, back to the original meme stocks, I guess. I didn't hear anything, but if we are ready for Brendan, let's do it. Brendan at the big screen, let's go.
Yours not working.
Hey guys, yeah, lots to talk about this morning. Let's have a quick look on how things, wow, the board is big today. Positive, so that's good for a Monday. 0.13 here for the S&P, the Dow 0.11, the NASDAQ about 0.3. So leading for tech stocks, as we were saying, if you joined us early on this morning here in Toronto, if you're following along, the TSX 0.2 to the upside. Tesla, the big one, yeah, got to all-time highs and then some this morning. 971 the high. We're right back to support levels from just before the open for Tesla, so a heads up there. PayPal did get a nice flush off of the open to the downside, but trying to hold around this area from that pullback this morning going into the open. So PayPal showing signs, guys, of trying to go higher. Back to you.
I still like this Palantir, man. I mean, thanks to Brad for the hat. I mean, Palantir investors unite today as Palantir starting to make moves again to the upside. Look, this is not a sexy stock anymore, man. It just doesn't do anything. But it's nice that it's kind of like, you know, if we can draw a little bit of a, line right there, it's always nice to draw them that way instead of the other way. So there you go. Palantir right now trying to get some movement to the upside. And if you connect all the dots here, this should be a little bit more that way. You're going to see like 24, 24.40, 24.50 there as some bottoms for concern there for Palantir. But we're back above the 200 period and looking to crack this period right here, the 50. And if we could do that, man, then I think obviously next is going to be 26, 27. And then hopefully we'll revisit some of this 29. Most of my money, not most of my money, I hold like 30 names. But Palantir is in both accounts, swing and long term. So I'm really happy with the way it's performing, lately on Palantir anyways. Let's just check out DraftKings quickly. Yeah, go ahead if you have something.
Because we're going to open up in about like 30 seconds on fun. But I just want to note we bounced off the bottom right here in Mark. We bounced off the bottom on DWAC. We just also bounced off of its pre-market low here. So both of these holding up at the bottom as we're about to reopen on fun, which might mean that the short could be in a little bit of trouble there. I mean, it's been fantastic if you've been grabbing any of these prices, but at some point it might catch a bit of a bid. I did get shares right at the end there on the halt. We'll see what happens. As always, I'm going to cover half on the reopen, but that bounce in DWAC has me thinking this could be it. It could make a bit of a low here. If it opens up and holds, it's 8 even. I think fun could have finally found its bottom. Yeah, I mean, it opens up pretty flat there at 820, but this could be it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to get the rest. I'm actually getting the rest out there and just taking it 825. So if it holds 8 even here, we might have found a bit of a bottom.
Yep, exactly. We're going to go long if it does break. So like I said, we get out there on the reopen. We're still holding very, very small piece in case it does want to flush now. Oops, that's a one-day chart. My bad, guys. So there it is, in and out. I mean, these halts just... We're waiting for that home run, and we talked about that. I think we actually mentioned it on Friday there, and when one of the viewers was like, this whole DWAC thing has really changed our opinion on how big winners and losers are anymore, right? So I think that is the case right now. As here we go, man. I mean, like, do we take these winners? We probably should take some of them now. Out 64, out 75, out 70s there on this name, and so we'll see if it continues to go upside. There's 70s. We're long at 60 now, so we'll see if it can hold it. It may halt to the upside.
I want more if it does.
Yeah, let's just go have a look here. DWAC bouncing off that bottom again. I still have this 105 in, but I'm going to cancel that. If it gets all the way back up there, I'd rather regroup on that one, but we're still only 12 cents in the money here on fun. So, it's been a fun day trading this name. It's not, for me, it hasn't been overly profitable because these moves really don't want to continue. But here we go. This is a nice one. This is a nice one.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets to $9, I guess it makes some sense. It doesn't feel like it has the strength for a halt right now. So I mean, of course, like the second I try to get any shares out there, you made a bit of a turn. So I was able to get some. It looks like 78s there. A random price. I actually got 42s along, which is entirely random. It opened back up, and you could have had 20s. I didn't get those. Maybe 9 even sets up for a bit of a break back to the upside. I've now covered Mark, so for the first time since the morning, since the start of the show, I'm not short in Mark. These other names find their bottom. $4 is kind of crazy. So let's see if Funk can break that 9 even. DWAC, by the way, is absolutely churning. So it holds at 88 levels or 89 level and is now churning through 98. If it gets to 100, might be worth taking some shares off of Fun. If DWAC resists at 100, taking some out of Fun might make some sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already taking them out right now on PHUN. Again, just celebrating this win, man. We did reverse it into the long there off that short. So, you know, you lose 20 cents or so on the short. And then obviously when this rips into the money 40 or 50 cents for you, you should take some profit there. As I'm sorry, we're just talking about these names. We will look at for some other names. What is this? Did we already go over BKKT?
Yeah, that one's, it's trying to get back to the upside, but this one was a little bit different. And it has a 14 quadruple top. I think this one is more safely faded at the high than some of the other names, but we'll see what happens here. I mean, Fun is having trouble getting through that $9 level. I want to try to hold one of these to the long side, because if it is the bottom, I just feel like they could all make, you know, halts to the upside at some point. It does feel like a BKKT's trying to. It just hit what I think was a halt band at about 1360 and rejected it, so might have missed a chance to short this off 14 already.
BKKT, yeah. Crazy, yeah, 14, yeah, that's big time tops right there. Just watch, like I said, man, all these names have crazy stories. So just watch out, do your work as much as you can, and that's why we continue to throw to Brendan with more news. What's up, bud?
Yeah, just to refresh everyone, we talked about that just before the open there, guys. It's MasterCard. So they partnered with MasterCard on some crypto-related services, according to Reuters, guys.
Oh, wow. It's going to halt up?
That's good news on that one, but we'll see if we can get this halt.
Gimme.
I'm not get it. Maybe I can get it. Oh, BYX, Neil, I think.
Oh, no. I was an Edge A and Boss X, man.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't get it either. I missed it. So I just noticed what was printing there. Neil and I trying to get shares when it halts, right? So all you can really do when a stock is halting is you cannot trade off the ask. You can only trade off the last price, and that was in this situation. Obviously, it's halting up, so it was on the bid 95. So I try to layer these orders in here and try to get some. You don't want to put too many orders in, because, you know, if you put 4 bids in and they all 4 fill, and then this thing turns around, you have 4 times the exposure on a halted stock. So you got to be careful for that. But hey, man, we're in the risky business here, so that was a good opportunity there. So we'll watch. We just talked about BKKT.
Oh, a firm.
A good move there, and a firm probably taking out highs, man. I mean, the NASDAQ is just Rip City again today, man, up 0.33. Facebook probably going. Go ahead with the firm.
You'd be right about that. Firm taking out those highs one more time. Well, I mean, one more time, you can't really say that because it does it every single day, so almost every other day. So 160 is come and gone, 163 we're looking at. There's no levels up here, so in the back of my mind, 175 seems like an interesting number if we can get there. Obviously, it's got a few numbers that it has to get through before that happens, and then I see that strength and go back over to Tesla, because it's still hanging around those lows. It never really came to that 935 where I'd have bought the dip, but you are seeing, you know, it's still up 5%, by the way, Tesla. So, I mean, I was about to say relative weakness, but it's above 950 and still up on the session. So it's still a pretty huge day. In terms of Moderna, I know there's other things that we're looking at this morning. Moderna didn't get to either one of the levels I like, whether it's at 340 top, whether it's at 316 bottom. They're sort of churning in the middle here, and I think it's going to be a boring trade unless it gets past those. On Mark, if you're still in it, which I'm not, it just broke. I didn't even see how big it was, but it was a few 100,000 shares on the offer at 4. That just got taken out. So you're seeing it trying to get back into the upside. I have gotten out of this for good. Well, I mean, at least maybe not for good. There's probably more trades here at some point, but the short is done.
Right now too,
and
Neil.
Fun looks like it's finally going to make that break. Did it take out 9 yet? Take out 9 even. This is continuing to go here. So maybe this is the bottom. I want to halt if I can get it to the upside where I'm trying to get long on the halt. I should just long off 9 even, I think.
So oh, you're still long, no?
Yeah, I still have
some. So I still have some too. And I just got out of, I don't have any mark. I haven't traded any of that today, but I'm just looking at these names here as Fun. We did take this long, so we're making back what we lost. I mean, it's just been too many trades for me today. This is fine. I mean, every single trade has been very, very controlled. It's just that last halt rate down there should not have been taken because it was near that low there. And it's just, there wasn't too much opportunities. So good thing we did get out and then out again and punch the long through 850. So let's take that out now as we go. Pretty happy with obviously with this trading here. So up to 9, we just took some out there at 9.15 for 75-cent win. I don't know if it's going to go higher. I'm hoping for a halt in this name for sure. Look at Snapchat, man. Like, damn it. This is like a carnival today on that name. Ugh, I wish we would have still. I mean, it's higher than the spot that we had right now, Snapchat, yet it's the loser of the day for me as it just came. I mean, we didn't lose that much. We got out of the way, thank God, at 54.80. But, you know, it does touch that dollar down even from that 53.80 before just ripping faces off right back to the upside there. So we were right on Snapchat, wrong on execution there. So someone said, are we buying AMD on dips? I mean, yeah, but not these dips. I'm still waiting for a lot of these names to come through with earnings. We're already huge on AMD, man. I mean, AMD is a monster.
You know who's coming to market?
Look at this.
It's oh my goodness. Now of course it's Global Foundries is coming to market this week. So that'll be a big one for the chip space. By the way, that was the one that everyone thought Intel was buying, which is a hell no, they're not buying them. Global Foundries didn't even want that. But anyways, that'll be a big one coming through. They're a big player. Pinterest, just coming back to some names that we've been kind of ignoring. Pinterest back up to this 50-50 level. I was trying to get 50-75 earlier. I ended up canceling it when it didn't come in off the open. Looks like it's pretty strong. Higher lows all the way through. So I don't want to fight this one. If it breaks 50-75 and maybe gets towards 51-52, I'd be patient trying to get it. Fun is continuing this potential bounce, although once again finding a rejection. So I get out of mark, thinking fun's going to be a long. Instead of covering above 9, I decide I want to take more shares. Average price now 878 on fun. It would be huge if it were to hold that previous pre-market low at 865, but I think it's more reasonable to try to see if it holds this 850 bottom. So if it can bounce off of 850, that would be an add. I wouldn't stop it to low of the day. I'd stop it to that 850 area. That just feels a little bit safer. It's been so weak. It's had a couple of good tries at these bounces here, and neither of which have followed through. And DWAC, by the way, you know, that just rejected that 100 level, which is probably some of the reason why it's coming back in here. Fun is coming back in here.
I did want to look. We did get a super chat there. What's up to? I think it was a funny name here, wasn't it? Senor Muchacho. What's up, Senor Muchacho? Okay, down on what stock is this? Oh, Hexo.to. Oh God. Yeah. So marijuana names. You want to talk about those? I'd rather just light them all on fire, even the paper that these stocks have brought in on. But we'll do that here. Hexo.to. So right now, I mean, some of these names have been so beat up. I'm not super familiar with Hexo as much as I am sitting in, but it's going to be the same. I'm sitting in Canopy. I'm sitting in Tilray. But I mean, without even looking at this chart, I was already saying a hell no to all this. Look, I think you're right at bottoms here. I don't have a problem bottom picking, but you understand, like, if you bottom picked here, that was $5. Now you're $2, right? And so without looking at any of the financials, I think, cannabis is obviously, there's been, sales are better. We've seen that from Tilray. We've seen that from CGC on some of those reports, Cron as well. So I think sales are better here in Ontario and in Canada. And then with that recent bill signed over there, or a few talks anyways, in California and New York about CBDs and hemp and all that stuff. That's obviously that bump up right there, but I would wait. I wouldn't be picking up any. I would like to see us take out that recent bump. So for me, look, for $7, this is pretty good. You're getting Hexo above 250. I like it if it can get off the bottom, but to bottom pick these names, man, for me, man, that's a very, very, very hard pass. The home run today has been in Tesla, I feel like, other than these other names. But thanks for the super chat on Tesla, or on Hexo, and we'll throw it over to Brendo.
Another 2, I want to say maybe even 3 weed shops opening in our neighborhood in the past couple of weeks. So you literally can't cross the street without finding one. UiPath, we mentioned a couple of names that ARK was buying into over the past couple of weeks. UiPath, one of those. They also got thumbs up from Goldman Sachs over here. Goldman disclosing a position in Path, up 4% today, guys. Big volume coming into Path.
Yeah.
And another look. Obviously, if you got that BKKT on the halt, it was a good one. As it opens higher, I was able to quickly get some as it tried to break 15, and then a bit of a liquidity vacuum opened up. So when I went to just punch in, I was able to get some 88s there. I've immediately scalped in front of what was the high at 1540 in case this happens. I mean, your only level here is going to be that 14 halt price. So want to make sure I get some out. If it bounces off of 14, maybe it has another chance to take out the high of the day. This, of course, as Brendan mentioned, was that sort of a crypto-related story. It's not one of these SPACs. Like, it's not related to directly any of these others, like your funds and your marks and your DWAC, but running in its own right, up 63%. I want to play that momentum. Looks like 14 is not going to get retested. Now we're going back through the high. I would cover in front of, look, I'm going to probably cover in front of 16 even, if only because, I don't want to get trapped in a false halt, like it tries to halt and then rejects that price. So if it rejects at 16, I'll look to cover there and just get in and out and take the money.
I feel like at least BKKT has that MasterCard deal, right? So I think obviously it's a little bit different than Trump Nation and things like that. So although it is going to be a meme stock because of the way it's moving, obviously some of these stocks move for a reason, right? So with that being said, we just took out some more there on fun. We were waiting. We got a great, that's still UiPath. I love UiPath, by the way. I've been talking about that one and wanting to pick some up on these down swings, but I don't know. I like when Goldman gets involved there because it's nice to see that they have a position there. What's up, man? Yeah, big one from Simone there. Thank you so much. We will always. I need to have something for Italy, some sort of a flag. But my dad. So I'm born in Canada. My dad born in Italy. So he's a Bruzzese. So there you go, Simone. You can let me know where you're from there as well. But so he's a Bruzzese, so not Calabria or anything like that. But okay, so right now to the upside as we continue to go. Thank you for the super chat, man. Let's just keep on rocking and rolling, and shout out to all of our friends up in Europe. 960, damn it, we talked about that Tesla at 950, man. Our girl V, when we're ready, we're going to throw to Valeria. So Valeria, get ready. I want to hear how you've been trading Tesla today. So when we have a chance, boys, on the ones and twos there, let's get Valeria over, because this 950, I have a feeling that she was long somewhere in here, because you definitely, if she's taking what Trader Prad, me and you, Neil, Brendan, we're all trying to teach her, and she's been doing great at it, is trying to buy some of these dips, because we know that she favors the long. Now you watch, she's going to be short. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey, Sean, thank you very much for asking. And indeed, I've been twice long on Tesla. Very successful and profitable day for me. Tesla doing amazing, going back to the upside. So guys, join Memes and Movers, because guess what? Prad was trading Tesla also. And by the way, make sure to smash the like button. We have almost 7,000 of viewers and just 1,100 of likes. Guys, please make sure to go long on thumbs up. Back to you guys.
Amazing.
Yes.
She's amazing. The best moderator, the best host, what keeps this show moving. Definitely, Ms. V, thank you so much for that one. It's funny, Roku just comes out with announcements that they have a new wireless soundbar. I just bought a matching soundbar for my TV, because I was like, you know what, some of the volumes that you can't use, you can't use TV speakers, right? Okay, so my other ones weren't Bluetooth, so I didn't want to wire everything. So we got a Bluetooth soundbar now, and it's pretty kick-ass, kick-butt. But okay, down here, just Roku making moves to the upside. We can't make him wait for too much longer. He's over there with our small cap recap, and his name is Brendan. Let's go, Brendan.
Busy morning, guys. I want to talk about that soundbar, Sean, because I want one as well. Coming up here, comms. We mentioned right before the open. This is not related to any of this other madness that was going on. It had its own news, was up significantly in the pre-market. Could not get back above 220, which was initial support on the way back up. So it gave you a nice flush down to 180. Volume drying up pretty quickly, though, on COMS. BNE, whatever the other SPAC is, coming back to the downside as well. I missed the initial break of 1650, which was support throughout the pre-market. Gave you a nice flush all the way down to 13. Obviously looking like it's trying to roll over once again. So I got back into that one on the downside. Mark gave you all kinds of opportunities today. 8 was the pivot in the pre-market, so you had to give it. Really weren't wrong on the short until 8, I guess, looking back now. Took multiple trades to the downside for Mark as well. What kind, Sean? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I just made it. I just made it really simple because I got the. I'll send you the model number, but I got a Samsung one. I know Samsung's not known for their audio, but it was actually pretty good. I wanted to make it simple for the kids, so use the one remote and everything like that. So they really like that Samsung remote, so I do too. So I got a Samsung one. I'll send you the. It's only a 2.1 channel. Anyways. It's that Mario Kart. Actually, no, I didn't have it. That's what made me get it. We were playing Mario Kart,
and you didn't.
I was like, I need better sound for this, man. Like, I need to hear like "Let's go" and stuff like that, right? So,
which is oddly enough the exact sound that came to my mind the second you started talking about Mario Kart. It's kind of funny. Like everyone thinks, let's go, let's go, BKKT. I actually turned to Sean when Brendan was talking, saying, I think this one has a chance to take out the high, and then of course it rejects this $16 breakout. Like I just scalped it after the reopen there, and like I said, if it rejected 16 even, I would take profit on it, which is what we did. It's now holding this 1480 area that I was able to get in. When you find liquidity pockets where you can get shares on the way up, a lot of times they end up holding out. So that's happened for now. If it breaks 1480, we're probably headed back to 14. I wish I could say that Fun had found its bottom. But it looks like it's going to try to roll over. I have an 850 stop, and the reason why I think it's about to roll over is because DWAC it just broke 96 here and looks like it's headed down towards that low. So 850 is my stop on Fun. If DWAC takes out this pre-market low, watch below 89 even. That breaks and we'll get out of it, but might take the hit on Fun. It's been a good one today in Fun and MRK and Mark, but I did want to have that bottom at some point. I thought we did. If we break this here, I'm not even holding this one to the low of the day because at this point, the momentum is too weak. I can always step out of that. Keep looking at that BKKT, which is a bit unrelated. Has a chance to still break 16. I do have a stop to break out long on that name. That's the only breakout I see unless Prague takes 350. And last I had checked, Prague was slowing down as well, as it gave you a couple of shots at that short. I didn't actually get it. Now this is also pulling back in. And as we noted, some of the previous meme names, like your AMCs and your GameStops, were breaking out through highs, only up 1%. But as usual, I think when some of the money comes out of whatever the more recent flyers are, they tend to get positive sessions for GameStop, which is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I was just doing that because the money's coming out of the wheelbarrow there. So we did. So again, we've emptied it all. Like I have now 5% of this fund position. That was a big out once it broke through $9, man. We just hit offer enter and got that out. Was not even expecting that 9 break, to be honest with you. Well, I was expecting it, but the way it broke, it came from 860 straight up in 2 straight bars straight up there. So we get out right there. That was a good level for us. We were waiting for 920. That comes through, gets it out. And then as soon as this level broke, and I know we're waiting for a little bit lower, but as soon as 875 broke, I got out. So that was that out right there. Now we're holding a very, very small piece, and we'll wait to see if it takes out 825. Then I'm going to be gone out of that one. I don't even want to look at Tesla right now, as well. We might as well. I see it's at 975 right now at the high of the day. And again, we only had a few names. If you can look at the sticky note today, we had Tesla, we had DWAC, and we had Snapchat. And we have them all the right way. It's embarrassing that we don't have them at the right nets for us. Unfortunately for today, I should have just held that Snapchat. I don't know why I thought that was going absolutely to zero. The problem was here is that obviously this is what happened in the market early on. So when Snapchat, just look at my positions. I don't even want to, now it's back down. Okay, so that's a little bit better. But we bought early, took it out early. And then this is that dip that happened in the NASDAQ. You see, and the NASDAQ started turning around about 8. I guess it's 9. This is CME time, so about 9:40. But as you could see, this bottom didn't happen until about 9:44. So right there, when this kept going down, we're like, no, thank you. We were able to get out. Unfortunately, we did absorb that dollar. We didn't have to worry about it. And then it comes all the way back to the upside. So we'll try to find some snap levels that we like right now. But more work needs to be done. And I'm thinking like this, 55. Just let's see if we can hold 55 here on VWAP and everything with Snapchat.
Yeah, and look, I missed out on Pinterest a couple of times, but it is sort of setting up. There goes that BKKT. I was about to say it's setting up for a potential run at the high of the day, and then BKKT, which had been falling asleep, actually takes out that 16 high. So for once, I actually get the break for real at 1601. Like you get a 16 break and get the price that you want. First stop is always going to be that 50 level where I'll scalp some out, so we'll do that for BKKT, which has been a couple of good longs. Still has a chance to potentially halt if it were to go, another dollar or so. At that point, it would become a totally different trade. I kind of want to scalp this in front of, it resisted 16 and halting up when it broke 14. I think the same thing could happen here. So 1750, somewhere in that range, I would look to cover. If it goes into a halt state, I can always play the long side by simply trying to catch that bid in that halt. So gimme. I was just, what, 17.25?
Boom.
Oh, I'm at 35. You kidding me?
There it is, Snapchat. Yeah, good trade there as we go BKK long there. But there's Snapchat, man. We just took that. Like, this is a 1 minute chart, guys. We just took this Snapchat, 55.48. We're out there 75. So how about that 30 cents right now? We'll fire off some hot dogs real quick. Like, you know how long that just took me to make 30 cents on PHUN? Like 20 minutes. Like, and then there goes Snapchat, boom, right there, right away, a quick 30 cents there. So believe it or not, man, like I use, because we're sitting here on a prop floor, like I can use the same amount of shares for all of these stocks. Basically, we've talked about that over and over again, to trade your own book, not ours. So hopefully that's working out well for you. I do want to check out Ford when we do get back, but Brendan's got something else.
Somebody mentioned this one, pre-market, guys. Skills, wow. 10% just broke 11 there. Big volume spike on SKLZ having a day. Also, Tesla, another all-time high.
Yeah,
so
loving Tesla.
It's going to be in and out of this BKKT. You're going to see them essentially flat. And at this point, I just want to like pick the spot, get in, get out. The way these are moving here. In BKKT, it rejected 17.25. I said 17.50. Didn't quite get there. It rejected lower. I was sitting at 35, thinking it would go a little bit higher. So I ended up covering in front of 17. Sort of the same thing we did when it broke out previously. I was just looking back over at a firm because, look, there's other things happening in the market other than these somewhat high flyers. But this is, now several times here up at 164 at a firm. It's not 165, but it's certainly close enough to that round number that this could be setting up for a bit of a break. But if you know me in these tops, I kind of like to play the short on some of these if they've been going pretty strong and you can catch retracement. Risk reward's pretty solid at the 163.5. Risk $1.50. VWAP's at 160, 161 or actually lower than that. So risk reward's not bad if I can catch a firm at a decent price. I haven't touched it all morning long, but I mean, I'm not going to chase it down here. That skews the whole risk parameter. But if I can catch it off this 163.50 area, I would get my short in a firm. Give it to 165. Just coming back to that DWAC, it is still holding the bottom end of this range here. And I keep saying it, but I'll say it again. If it breaks 89, watch out below. I haven't traded this because there's been so much more liquidity in Fun and Mark, but they're moving together a little bit, and just it's been easier to trade Fun and MARK to me. So that's the one I'm going to stick to, but I have not looked away from DWAC. It stays on my charts the entire time just to make sure nothing crazy is happening. The longer that it holds a higher low here, I think certainly a good sign. Still gets that chance for a breakout. Like, remember what's actually happening here, right? This is now day 3, and at no point, at absolutely no point, has this stock broken the lows that it had put in on that session. So you go back into Friday and it held those lows, and it's trying to do the same thing here. So it would be the first time, and if it did, I think that would be a sign of weakness. But there are buyers, there are levels, I guess, that's 65 to 70 if 89 were to break. It's just that it has not broken a bottom on the day just yet. Could still happen. Brendo, what do you got?
We have about 30 minutes to go, guys. It's 10:30. That means the day is almost over, if you can believe that, over in Europe. Coming up here, however, in 15 minutes, guys, great guest coming through. Avacana, pharmaceutical company, cannabinoid-focused pharmaceutical company coming through to talk about some of their latest dealings and efforts in that space. So going to be a good discussion. Stick around for that. In the meantime, let's get a check on what's happening over in Europe today. Miss V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mostly positive. HSBC Bank trading in London is up around 2% after a 74% rise in third quarter profit and $2 billion buyback announcement. Back to you.
Yeah, pretty choppy session overall. I mean, we're positive on the S&P, guys, but only just so far.
Yeah, it's a weird one, right? Because obviously when you have the market pulling back in for some of these when you have the market going to the upside and some of these names which everyone's been following and have been so strong pulling back in, it makes you think a little bit differently about how the day is going. So BKKT does get to that 1750, which I was looking for a little bit earlier. It just rejected a breakout at that price, so it goes up to 56 and is looking like it's rejecting that break. Now it's an even number in that it's 15, 20. It's just that midpoint idea there. So I am going to try to take a shot for the first time short here. And if it tries to break above like 17, 70, 75, I don't want it going too much past that guy. So I'm going to see if we can get this short. I actually just got that short and see if this one actually does reject. And if it takes it out, it's probably just quite simply headed towards that $20 level if it does get past. So it is a bit of a hard stop here because I don't want to hold these things too far against me. But it's starting to get parabolic, and it's rejected a few levels, didn't halt a second time, so maybe it's starting to calm down a little bit, and there's so much room to the downside. Like, even getting back to 16, that's a reasonable trade, risking like 40 to 50 pennies, and then trying to make a buck.
Yeah, thank you there for Adam. Yeah, we had everything. We just had Benny, Mark, and Fun just talking about let's find some levels on these names, right? So that's what we've done. The biggest thing for me on the sticky note, and thanks for bringing it up, Adam, again, was this Tesla trade, man. Like, we talked about this. Look at 950 long, beauty. We talked about Tesla today in the pre-market. I said there's nobody else can even fill this order or nothing. And I said, what about Avis? What about Budget? What about all these different companies that are about to come through with very, very similar orders now because they can't get left behind, right? So I don't know, man. I mean, I know it's gonna take them a while but there goes Tesla, still all-time highs and continues to make crazy moves. And there it is again, man. Let's just spin this for Snapchat today, although it hasn't been money early, but it's been money now. So as Snapchat, making a move back to the upside here over the last little bit, it's still a big dump down here. We did get out of the way, thank God for that, because I probably would have got out if it broke 54. So we're able to get out early, and now we have this little level here, waiting to see if it comes back out and ticks that. So we'll average in here. We've taken it upside. I still think we retest the highs, so no more outs now until we get broken down to the bottom here. And if that happens, then yeah, we'll give back those profits. But I mean, we're here to take a risk, right? And so I think that's something that we're doing there. Thank you so much, Julia. I mean, I hope your trading has been profitable today, and hence the super chat. So thank you so much, Julia. Obviously means a lot to us. I want to thank Ben from DV Trading as well for coming and talking a little bit of crypto with us, because today Bitcoin's holding. It's not, come on, man. Again, this is a one-day chart, so Bitcoin does make that 67. We talked about that last week, and now you're holding back to 63. Like, we talked about it going back to 60,000, then we would see what the weekend brought. Well, it didn't bring anything. It brought a hold of there on 60,000, and very, very similar. Again, you could watch Coinbase and things like that. You could see, again, right down here. Where's Ethereum? Oh, this chart. Ethereum holding that 4K, right, over the weekend, making a high of 4170 recently. So we're going to watch out for these names, keep our eye on this. You could trade the Purpose ETF like we talked about there, or you could just trade Coinbase or the coins themselves. But so far, so good here. Fun, still trying to hold up a little bit.
And we'll do a little bit of this because we got the break. We didn't get the bottom by any stretch of the imagination on BKKT. We did get the breakout after the halt, and then the second break at 16 even, and then now what is temporarily the top anyways, that's 1775. Now I'm short at 34, sort of in the middle. I was able to get some out here in front of 1650. I think at this point either breaks the high or comes back into VWAP, which is pretty binary for me at this point. So, we'll try to take $2 out of the rest of it. This cluster here, 15 to 1550, if that's what it wants to be. Maybe the money comes out of this one. We'll see what happens on BKKT. It's got its own news today, which, it's just a different story. So it's going to march to the beat of its own drum. I meant to go NASDAQ, DWAC here. Starting to break back out, right? So you hold that higher low, which again has yet to break. It's like any pre-market low or a low of the day that it puts in. It hasn't been broken for 3 days now. This is obviously only the third day. So you're seeing some support. And as I see that happen, I have to go back over to which has worked the best for me, which is Fun. Doing the same thing. Now I stopped out at 850. I didn't have a particularly good price on the long. I should have if I had just gotten what I wanted down at $8, I could have held on to that. But I did, I took that trade out and got back into it up at the high. And I'm like, I don't want to sit here, this breaking the lows. And then I'm sitting there with an 880 long. That's just kind of ridiculous. I don't want to be holding these too far against me. So if we can manage to, as I look over at DWAC, now hold this like 93, 94 area, maybe break back above 100, you can get back towards, the idea of Fun really taking this 9 level out, which I guess now you're looking at 920, 925 or so. And then the bottom has remained intact, at least this higher low at 830. This is a wick bottom. It barely got to 780. I think $8 is probably still intact as well. I said I wouldn't chase a firm. The answer to the question, would it have been good if I had? So far, yes, it would have been good, but that doesn't mean it's the right decision. So I decide not to chase this one. It is starting to come back in. Let's look to see if it can hold VWAP here. It might not be done with these prices. If it bounces off 161, this could always just come right back to the top and just give you the same opportunity later on in the session. So I don't sleep on that 165 top by any stretch on a firm.
I mean, I'm getting really bored of looking at Fun here. So let's look at DWAC right now. As Snapchat comes right back down, so we're getting ready to defend that 55 level, like we talked about, right where VWAP is right now. So one more take here, and then we'll wait to see. So, Snapchat good one there. That's why we got some out, and then we said we'd try this. So we are, here it comes. It's going to break. So we are reloaded now, but it's not a huge stock. I'm done chasing losers like I used to do that, but not anymore. It hasn't really affected my net in any way. We've been really successful this month. Like I said, October, well, because of Friday, will be better than September, but before then it wasn't. It was basically the same for me. So, and here's DWAC again, looking to make some moves, and we got to make a move on this at some point, but it's not, I think it's starting to trade like a stock now, believe it or not. This hold at 88, 89, you got some of these wicks down there. I think this is a good hold down here. So, might be worth buying some of these shares, 92, 93. And then honestly, like if you gave yourself $5 worth of room, I think that's pretty reasonable. Like, again, this is where we say it always, control your risk. Like if you could take a $5,000 hit, let's just say you made 50,000 or 10,000 or whatever you made on Friday or you lost, I don't know. But the thing is that understand that this should be your route, in my opinion. And I could be completely wrong. It could hit here, go down a buck and then rip 10. But to me, if you're long this name right now, understand that your out should be like 88, 89, 88, something like that. And then if you can hold the risk, then that's the amount of shares that I would use, right? So if you're up on the month and you say, you know what, I'm willing to give it all back here because I believe that this name gets pumped, or I believe I like this name, or any kind of reason, then you want to get out at 88, 89 on DWAC. That is the key, guys. So to me, have an out and you'll be successful in your trading, just whether or not it's crypto, whether or not it's anything. We did have a Shiba on discussion here with the Shiba Inu, and it's still trying to hold up highs here near that 4-cent mark. So right now it's 39.50, 39.50. So I mean, again, I don't know if you can see that, but it's still holding up. It did make that run to its all-time highs of, I believe, actually, it might have even passed it, but 5 cents there. And it's not 5 cents, but 0.0005 was a near high. We go back to a 180-day chart here. Yeah, it was back. Yeah, so it was all the way back. Oh, no, it's recently. Okay, so 0.05. We're going to have to find out. I thought we hit 5 before, but right now it's pretty nice level there for Shiba Inu, guys.
Only about a quadrillion float there, but yep. It's a huge story. And speaking of a huge story, I mean, BKKT, Brendan already brought you the news. It just bounced off of 1550 and again is showing some signs of strength here. So it's a lower high for now. But just anyone that's monitoring this, like I have a short at the top when it rejected 1750. I would have thought $20 would be a much more realistic top in terms of thinking it's going to absolutely flush back down into some of the levels we saw in the pre-market. And maybe it happens here, but I don't want to be adding to this. That's what I want to get at here. I don't want to add to this short. If it breaks the high, I'm out. If it does that, I mean, you can look at a 1775-ish break to the long side because I want a short 20 for sure. I think I'd hold out waiting for it. Tesla, which I keep coming back to Tesla because, 1,000 is going to loom in everybody's minds. Having missed out on the dip buy, I kind of thought it would go a little bit lower if it actually tested back in. It held 945 pretty well. 1,000 is going to be on my radar. And again, the only price I want to short Tesla today is if it gets to 1,000. Like usually, a lot of times I'd be trying to do this here, like what I think in a firm, a bit of a rollover off the high. But for Tesla, it has to be 1,000. And for 1040, we have to go to Brendan for sector watch. It's been a strong market. Let's see what sectors are doing the best.
Hey guys, yeah, we are positive, but only 0.17 to the upside. So overall, the market kind of choppy to start off the new week. We mentioned the pre-market here. Energy stocks getting a boost once again, about 1.2, 1.3% for crude oil today. Oxy, Apache, CTRA all 3+%, 4.5% for Oxy there. Again, the end of last week, pretty negative for these stocks, so a bit of a bounce overall. Materials also getting a boost today from some higher metal prices. So these two groups making up a good chunk of the positivity we're seeing so far, along with tech stocks. Yeah, there's PayPal, 4.2% after saying no thanks to Pinterest. Micron, 2.8% to the upside. Remember, there was that Taiwan earthquake. They came out in the pre-market and said that's going to negatively affect their production. But overall, pretty positive anyways, 2.7 for MU. There's the big one, 6.7 for Tesla today, all-time highs All of the retailers over here, Etsy, BBWI, Pool, Tasco, TJX, to name a few. Very, very positive day for the entire group so far. A little bit of negativity coming from the industrial sector, but overall, this group is actually kind of break even to slightly higher. More earnings from that group coming later this week. Banks are weak. Consumer staples are weak. Although some of the travel names I noted were in positive territory as well. But yeah, we're positive, but 0.17. Back over to you.
Thank you very much, Brendan. And heading back into the downside is this BKT. I mean, you'll see, like, it is over $1 in the money, and I could, consider taking some more shares out, but it holds that lower high. I gave you the reasons why I didn't necessarily like the notion of adding to that position. Clearly, it would have been a good call. If it gets down to that 15, I'll look to get out. If it's going to go into a halt, you know what? That actually was I'm going to just cancel my bid there, as it was a lot of sell volume came in when it tried to take this 1550-ish bottom. Previous bottom at 1560. I can always manually cover here if it bounces off 15 even, but if this breaks lower and halts to the downside, and I actually have the top, I might as well see how far it can go. Speaking of things coming to the downside, yeah, that's going to be a firm pulling back into VWAP. I just want to see if it can hold a 161 bid down here, which for now it's attempting to do, but another rollover happening in a firm. And by the way, DWAC, that just broke 100 again. I'm looking at Mark. I have not gone long in Mark all day long, and that one is just barcoding off the bottom at $4. The risk to reward on Mark seems pretty solid. So for the first time, because I see this break happening on DWAC, and we're basically at the low of the day on Mark, Fun is trying to take this 9 level again. I like it for a 9.25 break to the long side. I tried it once, and my first loss on Fun was when we tried that long trade just now. But with DWAC behind it, let's see if Fun can go. I just got the Mark long. Hey, maybe they'll all go at once because there's so much more room to come back in. Holding some of these lows. Maybe it's is this round 3, 4? I don't know what round you even call it.
That's hilarious because we were just guys talking. Remember we did that work on DWAC. We just talked about it. We're still long Fun, so that's 70 cents in the money. So we'll wait for that one. We were we were just talking about that, taking this long around 94, 95, or even earlier than that before we went to Brendan, like 93, 94, and using this 89 as the bottom, right? And so there it is, right back upside again. So you're able to enjoy that if you did have it. Tough trade to make, though. There's no doubt about that. So we'll wait to see where DWAC goes. It looks like it's bouncing off the $100. Remember, try to pay for shorts if you can, guys, because if you're not unable to get them, sorry about that, but there should be some shorts available. We were able to get them here. Yep. So watch out there off that $100 spot. As oil's coming to the downside now, it's down 1, or it's still up 1%, but starting to move a little bit to the downside. Let's just check out our friends XOM. Okay, good. Come on, XOM. Getting ready to put a short on here. So hopefully XOM continues. This is a good spot here. I think we're way overdone here on some of these. This is where we shorted last time, so I think it's almost put time coming for XOM as you're up to $65 now. Wow. Lucid up 5%. DWAC just still hovering. Look at AMD. AMD continues to be the runner that we all want it to be, man. This has been a big trade for my account. Still going to the upside. 120, taking out, come on, AMD, taking out new levels every single day, it seems like. Right there, taking out the high just now of 120 on the daily. So now, I mean, the high is 122, but breaking through there today. Great trade. Actually, it was 119 or so, but AMD continues to rock and roll, man. Tech leads the way in this market, but right now we have Brendan with our guest of the day.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Yeah, we're happy to have Avicanna here with us today, a cannabinoid-focused biopharmaceutical company, and CEO Aras Azadian here to tell us a little bit about some of the work and some of the efforts being put towards cannabinoid-focused treatments here. Good to have you, Aras. Welcome to the show. This is a little bit of a different approach to this space. Why don't you start things off just with a little overview of the overall company?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So we started the company about 6 years ago when the cannabis industry was really just taking off here in Toronto, and everybody was focused on really the recreational side or the cultivation side. We saw the benefits in terms of improving life, improving the quality of life, improving patient outcomes, but that needed standardized medicine, and that required research, that required clinical data, but that also required products to be consistent and stable. So we took that approach about 5 years ago, and we started the R&D, where we've been part of a Johnson & Johnson incubator where we did a lot of research. Fast forward 6 years, the company is now active with the skincare line, with a medical line that is active with the largest pharmacy chain here in Canada, and we're actually exporting a number of our products. We're currently active in 12 countries. So we took a much more sophisticated approach to cannabinoid-based medicine. We're proud to see finally the fruit of the labor come into work.
Yeah, it's you made a point there that I want to touch on. 12 countries, so active in 12 different marketplaces, and profits coming in from all of those. So you don't hear that a lot when it comes to this type of focus company. Let's talk a little bit about some of those markets, Aras, and what it is exactly that is working well there.
Well, I think the first thing is we need to separate the industry from recreational to medical. And within the recreational realm, because the United Nations Convention on Narcotics, most companies, and no company can actually export recreational products. And most companies can't even pass state lines in the US. Because we operate on the medical and research and clinical side, we're actually permitted to export our products into a number of countries. We're currently active in 4 continents. So the marketplace for us is a global one. And we're not competing in just the cannabis market, but we're competing in medical, in oncology, in pain, in sleep, and dermatology. So 2021 was the year that we started generating revenue. We started exporting into these countries. These are all small exports at this stage, but they're market openings and they're market entrances. And as you can imagine, the regulatory red tape that we need to pass every time we enter a new country with a regulated and controlled substance such as cannabinoids is quite difficult. But the fact that we are now active in 12 countries is very exciting for us.
And let's get into some of these different products that are working well, because they're not typically, what people might be assuming and what people might be thinking about. You mentioned the skincare line specifically. Tell us a little bit more about, what it is exactly that is working well.
So we have a skincare line which is focused on acne, eczema. It's clinically backed. We've completed clinical trials on humans, and the products are now commercial in a number of countries. The benefit there is because they're CBD driven. They're considered as OTC products. They're over the counter. They're consumer products. We have a medical line which is called RHO, which is the leading brand here in Canada in terms of medical products, and these are oral, sublingual, topical delivery of cannabinoids in a much more consistent, stabilized manner, in a much more pharmaceutical manner. And this product line is doing extremely well in the markets we've recently launched because, again, we took that sophisticated pharmaceutical approach. And then finally, we have our pharmaceutical pipeline that's in various stages of clinical development.
Tremendous growth over the past year, going back into 2020 as well for Avicanna. Shoppers Drug Mart, I mean, a huge name here in this country. Talk about the deal with them.
Yeah, so we're not a Canadian licensed producer. So we operate as a biopharma company, and we launched our formulary, the products that you just saw on the screen, RHO, with Shoppers, even though we're not an LP. So we outsource manufacturing. We are, again, an intellectual property company, and we've launched it with the Shoppers Drug Mart Medical Cannabis Portal. We've been extremely successful. We understand that we have the leading products in terms of the top oils, top sprays, and top topicals. And we expect that to continue to have its positive trend. So again, recent commercialization after years of R&D, and as soon as we've hit the market, we've essentially hit the ground running.
So exciting past couple of years for the company. What can viewers, what can investors expect from Avicanna going into 2022?
This was a tremendous year for us, getting into so many new markets, launching our products, whatever we've launched, whether it's been our genetic program in terms of seeds or a raw material program out of Colombia, our medical or our skincare, they're all commercial now, and they're continuing to progress. I think 2022 is going to be a much more quantitative year for us in terms of revenue and what's to come. We expect to be profitable in the first half of 2022. But in addition to that, our pharmaceutical drugs that we've spent 5 years developing are now going into either later stages of clinical development or they're going into actual drug registrations in South America. So 2022 is going to be an enormous year for us. All the work, all the effort, all these years in terms of R&D product development has finally yielded the results we've been looking for. So very exciting place to be. It's the most, from a revenue, from commercialization, from a research perspective, we're the most advanced we've ever been.
AVCN is the ticker symbol if you are interested in having a look at the stock guys listed here in Toronto. Aras Azadian, CEO of Avicanna. A pleasure. We look forward to an update in the future.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
There we go, guys. AVCN in Toronto.
There, it was actually a good point there because I didn't realize that that, you know, the different licenses that you have and things like that will allow you to cross border with the product. I mean, I think that that's super, super important for researching and for getting your name out there and just understanding your market as a whole. So I actually never thought about that there would be problems.
We learn something every day.
Yeah, good, great interview, and thank you, Brendan, and thank you for the guest.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's been a crazy one. It's been a wild Monday. This is going to be an obviously interesting week. I think we all know that with monster earnings coming through, like 30%. Essentially of the market can be reporting. But hey, the movers today have been, by the way, that mark, it's retaking 4 even. So I've tried to go long here. I'm long at 406. I don't know if this one's going to hold up. BKKT is again trying to take out 15 even. Looks like it's holding VWAP for now. I want to hang on to this short. It looks like the trend is pretty solid here, and we've already banked on this, so I kind of feel pretty comfortable with it. And then for the third time, I want to say, and I could be wrong, I'll double check the charts here. Yeah, it's about the third time, at least since we made the bottom on DWAC anyways, the third time that it's broken this 100 level and rejected it. So, you know, if Mark has been weak of these three, or I guess these four because BENE, if it's been the weak one, it has a decent chance to break that low, and I'll actually take a hit on it with this long trade. But I keep watching DWAC to see if it can hold up, break VWAP, hold above 100, and I think that's when you'd get that move in. I think that's the problem with anyone trading fund to the long side and why I took it off. You're just not really getting that break. So, you know, I'm looking at a 920 break on fund. That'll be the next one. And in Tesla, I do want to make sure that we're paying attention to this. I know Ms. V is going to be all over this for memes and movers, which rightfully so. I kind of hope Trader Prad made it. Look, I mean, I'm not, who knows, but I know every single day he's generally been crushing that Affirm short whenever it's made a bit of a high. So I'm kind of hoping when I didn't chase it, that there was a chance to retrace this into VWAP. I did say that I wouldn't chase it because I think if it bounces off 161, you'll get another crack at that same price. Maybe a little bit later on in the day. Maybe it has to take a while to level off at the top here before it does that, but we can be patient. It's been a good morning so far. You know there's going to be activity. We'll be back at Power Hour at 3 o'clock where I'm sure we'll still be looking at a lot of these big movers. Maybe we get some halts or some breakouts in the meantime during lunch. I'm hoping, of course, that the breakout is in Mark, as I've added to this position now off the low. My last cover of the short was back here at 10 o'clock. Both these bids at 406, that's me going long. So, you know, I'm no longer shorting this name. It was the one I felt comfortable shorting, but it's put in a bottom. If this is a turn on any of these, I think this one has a decent risk to reward, given that, you know, VWAP even just gives you up to $5. That's $1 from here, and the current low sits at 360. So I like the risk to reward of this mark trade. But certainly you could be looking at fund, you could be looking at BENE, you could be looking at DWAC, and of course I'm still in that BKKT short for now.
I think you could also, let's not forget, as we are going to run through the earnings here, and I know you said 30% of the names, but it's like 100% of the market.
I meant the, yeah.
No, yeah, and I know what you mean. Just letting people know that, like, this is, obviously we don't need to let you guys know, this is going to be a monster week. I'm super excited about Facebook, Google, everybody coming to market, and it should be, I mean, I think it's Google this week anyways, but I'm really excited for tonight with Facebook, so we'll wait to see what happens here as we're right on the 200 period. As an investor, obviously very excited about Facebook, but we'll wait to see on that one. And then here's Google coming through as well. We can throw to the earnings whenever we have it, because we should probably do it a little bit early, because I think there's a whole bunch. Google right now below its 50-period moving average as well, and starting to bounce. I mean, if we can get this down here to 2,600, I don't think they miss, so it's probably just a pipe dream. But right now, let's see. Let's see that list of names there, Brendo.
Yeah, we're going to get to earnings here. Just wanted to mention this one as well. Super calm, guys, just popping up on a big volume spike. So this broke $1 early on, held $1, trying to go again here for SPCB, little one we've looked at many times in the past. Yeah, it's a third of the Dow components apparently this week, and then obviously lots and lots of S&P components as well. So here we go for tonight and tomorrow.
All right, so I mean, GE is going to lead the way as well today for some of those. I mean, there's Eli Lilly. I mean, there's so many names. I'm looking to get into Eli Lilly. Yeah, so these are some bigger Dow names today, not as many NASDAQ names in there. But yeah,
Raytheon's in there.
I mean, I'm big. I mean,
Lockheed.
I'm a shareholder in GE and Facebook. Those are my real two ones there tomorrow. And then buy any weakness in Eli Lilly. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. UPS was horrible lately. Some of these names, and then UBS doesn't really ever move too much. So yeah. Pretty excited,
I'd be a
but
little
obviously
bit
Facebook.
Yeah, obviously Facebook. I'd be a little bit concerned about Hasbro, given what we saw with Mattel. Like, Mattel absolutely blew it out of the water, and then we were staring at that thing giving everything back like a few hours after what we thought was one of the strongest stocks in the market last week. So I'd be a little bit concerned about what Hasbro has in store for it. Only 4 minutes to go. It's been a wild one. Somehow, some way, I didn't trade Pinterest, and it's like I've only traded your BKKT, Mark, and Fun. And when you're trading these names, I said this when I over traded on DWAC on Thursday, I guess it was. The way to go would be to not make as many trades and kind of pick your spots with these. And I think that's the best way to go. It's meant I haven't traded Pinterest, although again, it just keeps testing this 550 area, and maybe it's catching a bit of a bounce. So this could be a case of thinking it came too far down on the bad news. Well, I mean, the news that the deal didn't come through. That's bad news for Pinterest, not necessarily bad news in general. If you're a PayPal shareholder, you definitely are happy, I think. But Pinterest bounces off 49 support, which was legit support in the stock. So maybe should have anticipated that it could have been a green day for it, trying to break out through 550 as pins. With only a few minutes to go here, it's been a fun one. And, we always do this. Find out what national day it is. Of course, last week we had, it was Pumpkin Cheesecake Day, which, as you guys all know, absolutely blew my mind when Marissa made it for us. We'll see what it is today. Will it make me quite as hungry? I doubt it. Let's find out, Ms. V.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you very much for starting this trading week with us. I hope you're all doing great. And please come join Memes and Movers right after this show. Me and Prad are super excited to continue trading with you guys. Well, please make sure to smash the like button, and happy National Greasy Foods Day, everyone.
Greasy Seafood Day.
They're just greasy food in general.
Oh, Greasy Food Day. Oh, Greasy Foods Day? All I see on there is shrimp and stuff like that. So I thought it was Greasy Seafood Day, but okay, Greasy.
Because that is all seafood.
I'll say no. I mean, look, I like fried food, but I'm going to give a thumbs down
That's a bit much.
to greasy food, right? Like, I like it like properly fried, even some panko or something like that. Look at Funware starting to go as well, but I'm going to give it a. I'll give it a thumbs middle because,
Let me give it 4 thumbs down.
Yeah, 4 thumbs down. What about you, Brendo?
I mean, fried food, first off, doesn't have to be greasy.
Right, that's what I don't understand.
Calamari, like fried calamari, come on.
I know, like my kids are
No,
finally
you
eating all
don't
that
want it to be too greasy, your fried food. Like, that's the thing.
Right. I'm against the National Greasy Food Day. I do want everybody, guys, hit the like button if you haven't done that yet. I know Valeria just talked about that. We only have 1.7K here. If you can come to my screen, guys. Yeah, let's get this to 2K. I mean, can we do this in a minute? Please hit the like, see if we can get it to 2K. We're just trying to, the show's for free. We're trying to get the algorithm going a little bit here on YouTube. So
we're trying to hit that 2K mark.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're trying to hit that mark all day, every day. So, it was okay. But if we can do that, that'd be fantastic. Although we didn't trade Tesla, you're going over to Ms. V, who apparently has been trading Tesla and had a couple nice longs as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be trading NEO, hopefully some BKKT up to $16, NEO up to $40.50. Fisker right now, a nice little move as well. So there's lots happening, guys.
Yeah, definitely. We've been on the mark with Mark here today. I'm going to keep using it. I don't care, and I'll use it again at 3 o'clock when we come back on. As long as it's doing volume, we're going to drop the ridiculously horrible puns. At least I'm going to drop the bad puns. But it just broke out from 4 into this 440 range, so another nice might move here. Look, it still has room to go. I thought this could get a bounce and get to VWAP, but remember, not much happening. DWAC still holding below that 100 level, and then Fun still holding below 900. So this is kind of going on its own. Remember, when it went down first, and it went down harder, oh my goodness, than the other names. It was the best short. So on the way back up, maybe it's just an early riser. You guys are headed right over to Trader Pratt and Ms. V before I say anything more ridiculous. So let's get right over to memes and movers.
Welcome back to the final week of the spooky season of year, guys. Final week of October. Welcome back to Memes and Movers. It is Monday, Ms. V.
Hey guys, welcome back everyone. I hope you had a great weekend and ready for a productive week. Please be active on the chat, ask us anything, and of course don't forget to like this video. All right, Prad, how's your trading day going?